This and all episodes of the podcast have been brought to you by our generous patrons over at Patreon, the DayZ Podcast. If you're interested in finding out more about how you can support the show each week, then please click the link in the description down below to find out more information about Patreon, the DayZ Podcast. Thank you for your support. How you doing, fellas?
Hey guys, pretty good.
We're about 10 minutes early, but I don't see why we can't get it rolling. We've got no Ben joining us tonight. He's got some IT issues. Well, not really issues. He's apparently setting himself up with a much nicer layout. So, yeah. Now, it's up to you whether you do a face cam or not, Babynades. No obligation to, mate.
Let's say again.
It's up to you whether you do a face cam or not, mate. No obligation.
Oh, I don't even have a face cam. I never use it.
Well, welcome to episode 29 of the DayZ Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, our special guest is a man who I've done a spotlight on previously and who's been lurking in the background. Went a little bit quiet there for a while. I imagine probably a bit like with Fubar Bundy, though, mate. Running a server, as I'm finding out, is a pretty fucking big deal, isn't it?
Man, it is so time consuming.
Yeah.
I don't know how people do it. I really don't. It's a full-time job.
Yeah. But you've got a pretty decent team helping you as well, though, haven't you?
Yeah, we've got some people that have put in a lot of time, and our team has changed a lot since the beginning. But, yeah, we're still doing pretty good. Got a lot of admins, got a good server dev. Everything's going great.
And how have you been otherwise, mate? What have you been up to lately?
Well, really, the only thing I've been doing is the server. I've been playing a lot of DayZ. I've been doing a lot of the deathmatch servers, actually.
Yeah.
Just to get my skill level back up to what it was.
Yep.
Because I'm kind of known for taking long breaks. And being away from the game for a while, you actually lose a lot. So
yeah.
Yeah, mainly the server. It's pretty much it.
How you've been playing on the Vanilla Plus death matches, I'm guessing, then?
Oh, yeah.
They're pretty damn good, aren't they? He's a bit of a genius to one.
Oh, yeah, it's so good. My only issue is it's a EU server, so I don't have the best ping. I think it's an EU server, right?
No. It's a US server, is the deathmatch ones, I believe. Because the one's based in Australia, so it'd be highly unlikely he did an EU server because he likes to jump on them himself and that.
I guess I just have some weird internet issues because I had to move my PC upstairs away from my modem because of coronavirus. We have a lot of people living here at the house.
Yep.
So I don't have the best connection anymore, so I'm kind of limited on where I can play.
And what about you, Brim? How have you been the last week, mate?
Surviving, as I think we all have, just about. Trying to sort bits and bobs out on the computer, trying to get screens working and no end of tech issues that I thought I could get ahead of, but typical boomer me, not always working it out as quickly as I'd like.
So, Babynades, you made your return back to YouTube as well, mate?
Yeah, sure did. Yep. Finally.
How long was the gap there between videos for you?
About a month.
Yeah.
At first, well, it's not a good sign when every single video you post, the first comment is, "Oh, he's back." That's kind of how it's always been with me.
Mate, I
just get distracted by stuff.
I compared you to Fubar Bundy, mate, but you're not as bad as him. The bloke goes silent for like 6 months. People are getting ready to put his face on milk cartons and shit. And then all of a sudden, bam, out of nowhere, he drops another video.
He doesn't even post on Twitter?
No, he goes silent.
Very rarely.
Absolutely silent. He's he's bad with Twitter. He'll just send out a post saying "I love you all again," and sadly, he's actually closed his server. Just
recently?
Yeah, just the last day was the 30th of September.
He may have. Do you know why he did that? He may have realized how much extra work it is.
No, he did do a post.
That's how it was for me.
But I think he even closed the Discord for his server as well. We read it out last week, didn't we, Brim?
We did, yeah. He put a notification, didn't he, in his Discord? But
Yeah.
I mean, he's been somewhat active since, because he's uploaded another YouTube video.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I saw that.
was on what 28th of September, so however long that was, like a week ago, and that's up to like 46,000 views. So, you know, he's still going all right there, and he's over 100,000 subs now.
Yep.
He's at 102,000. So, you know,
YouTube's a
can't
funny
go wrong
beast,
with it.
though, isn't it, Babynades? Like, you know, you and I were chatting, mate. Bundy had his video where he hit 800,000, but the title was just the algorithm favours a good title, like, what was it, epic 1,300 metre or 1,100 metre sniper shot or something like that. And he got a massive view count on it. And then his latest video, he only gets 40, 50K.
Oh, I know how that feels. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy how much just like the title or the thumbnail can like lift the video. It's I still don't understand it.
But someone did a thing there somewhere where they said the best thumbnail is to have a weapon reloading or something like that. I can't remember. Do you know who
It's
said
very
that, Rim?
cliche, yeah.
Yeah. Just a weapon reloading in the thumbnail just kind of does something with the algorithm or something with people's minds, and they go, ooh, guns. And they click on it.
Yeah, it's either that or the word bandit in the title. Those are the two things that seem to attract the most attention.
Okay, you've got me wondering. I did a video with because I'm really bad when it comes to looking at my stats. I just put videos up and then I just leave it at that. But I did a Boydie the Bandit video. What did that get? Only yes. Oh, it did better than most of my other stuff's podcasts. So 318 views. And that was on Fubar's server too.
I really don't understand it. Yeah, it's a mystery how it all works, really.
At least, do you do streaming on Twitch, mate?
No, I don't. I'll probably won't go back to Twitch. I'll just stay to YouTube and stream there.
Okay. Oh, so you do stream though, but you're gonna stream on YouTube.
I'm going to start streaming again, probably Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yep. And what can people expect when you go live?
I'll probably be playing on day one because those are great streaming servers. I might play on TRMZ server. I love playing there for streaming too.
See, I'd like your opinion on this, mate, but we talked about day one last week. Aussie Rogue put a tweet out. And
yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, but you know, Brim and I were we were of the same opinion, weren't we, mate?
Yeah. I mean, I'd hate the thing is, like, I've played on maybe 2 of their servers, and they've been absolutely brilliant. I cannot in any way, shape, or form fault those servers that I've played on because, you know, from the player interaction, the actual player base itself, to like the actual how the server runs and how smooth it is, and the lack of lag and things like that. The performance has been absolutely brilliant, but I think Aussie Rogue made that very good point that, you know, everyone's going on those servers at the moment, and it's a shame to say, but I think it is going to fizzle out eventually. I hope it doesn't, because like I say, they are extremely fun. But like I say, the amount of streamers and content creators as a whole that are going on those at the moment, there's only going to be so much content to go around. And when like I say, within 10-15 minutes of my first ever go on one of those servers, I bumped into Mr. OG. So, you know, and I know Uncle Ray's bumped into him once or twice as well recently, and so it's going to get to that point where you're going to have to do something different that's not necessarily going to work, because you can't upload a video where, you know, suddenly your comment section says, at 2 minutes and 3 seconds, that was Mr. OG. At 2 minutes and 10 seconds, that was Taupe. That was this person.
Yeah.
It's just going to dilute it down and going to make it...
Yeah.
It's not
Where I think it's going to be the worst is streaming. If you're just making videos, then it's not going to be such a bad issue. But when you're streaming, particularly, you got those little kids who just love to jump in and go to the other streaming. Oh, you're talking to Babynades, or Babynades, you just met bloody Joe Blow, and I just worry that it's gonna ruin some of the experience of the randomness of DayZ.
Yeah, for sure.
What about your own server?
I think that there's a lot of day one servers. There's like 6 of them or something, right?
7 now.
Jeez,
Wow.
there can't be that many DayZ streamers, are there?
Well,
Well, now there is. Thanks to bloody Summit and
up,
Shroud and XQC. Every man and his dog's playing DayZ again.
Yeah, well, the day one they've got 6 regular servers. So you've got 3 Chernarus and 3 Livonia, and then there's one which I think is Chernarus, but I might be wrong, and it's a winter map from what I saw on the DayZ standalone launcher. But I've only played on 2 of the servers in total, so we'll see.
How's your server going though, Babynades?
Well, my server's currently down. We took it down because the population just totally dropped, and I think it's a mix of all these new servers coming up, and I just haven't been uploading. I think that's the main thing. Haven't been promoting it.
Yep.
But it pretty much dropped, and I think the reason was because it's just not different enough. We need to like have something totally new, like a really hardcore server with helicopters, very like a lot of creativity that you can put into your base building, stuff like that on a different map that's not Chernarus or Livonia. So that's what we're going to go for.
Yep. Maybe yes.
And we're going to relaunch it.
Deer Isle or something, and
yeah, Deer Isle.
Yep.
Deer Isle's a fucking brilliant map. One of the server that I help runs on Deer Isle, and it's come in leaps and bounds since it was first in sort of early development. It's such a phenomenal server.
I've only played it once. I've got to get back on there and check it out again.
It's brilliant. There are so many like little random hidden things that you wouldn't notice. You'll trip over like a random fucking place, and you'll look at this rock and go, "The fuck is that rock? Looks different." And then you have a little walk around it, and you realize it's an underground cave, and you go, "Jesus Christ!"
Love it.
Yeah, the underground areas there's nothing like that on any other map I've ever played. It's amazing.
I think some of those underground like caverns and stuff that it's got in place, they're few and far between, which I think makes it really good. But I can see from a content creator standpoint, I can see that becoming really good, because I can see doing like base raid videos and stuff. They seem to be quite popular, generally speaking. So, I mean, you imagine you make a base in some sort of underground bunker, and you get like a streamer like Nazar, for example. I think he did one back in the day. I think he's done a few like that with on Deer Isle. You know, you get those videos get decent views, so it's worth looking into to a degree.
I think because that map came out like a long time ago and it wasn't fully developed as it is now, people just kind of played it that one time and they're like, "Oh, okay, this thing's not finished yet."
Yeah, people couldn't be asked to wait for the development.
Yeah, exactly. If they went back and gave it a chance now, they would see that it's amazing. It's better than Livonia, in my opinion.
What's the guy's name who made it again?
John McLean.
John. We probably need to look at maybe getting him on to have a talk about the map in the future.
Yeah, he'd be a brilliant guest.
Because we've got We'll wait until the end to say who the next guest is, but I'm not sure if it's the next guest, but we've got another map developer coming up in our line of guests for the show as well, so I'm looking forward to that one. But I can't remember if I asked you in the Spotlight interview, Babynades, but your avatar, your logo, what's the story behind it?
Oh, that's just the DayZ character that I picked, like really early on in my YouTube career, and I've just kind of stuck with her as the avatar.
She's got impeccable hair.
There's no real story behind it. But one of my friends made it for me.
Yep.
For free, even though I tried to pay him, but he wouldn't take it.
Now, did you have... I hit you up and asked you if there was anything in particular that you wanted to discuss tonight.
Not particularly. I didn't think of anything.
Nope.
Take the opportunity
Just
for
talk
free promotion.
Yeah.
Well,
But I did see, I did read through the questions and stuff that you guys wrote down.
Yeah. Well, we've got Keegan with the DayZ Battle Royale. Finally, the poor bugger managed to get them to approve monetization. I don't know, had you followed that much at all, Babynades?
Oh, no, I was trying to find information about it. I looked it up. I couldn't find anything.
Oh, mate,
It
he
sounds
has
very
the devil's
interesting.
own time getting Bohemia to approve monetization for his Battle Royale program. You said you've been playing the deathmatch servers. I highly recommend checking out the Battle Royale. Even just for streaming, it is so much fun. Like, I don't know what you're like when you get into PvP, but me, I'm just a fucking... I turn into 5 thumbs. Bloody... Just absolutely shit myself, and Marks in chat has killed me, and... yeah... Worst part is the last game I played, I could have actually won it because I saw him, but I tried to get cocky and use the M79 to finish him, and I probably shot about 10 metres short of him, and then he got the drop on me. But it's so much fun. It just brings up, it's almost like when you have that contact in DayZ and it goes for, 40 minutes or so of you and them flanking each other. And, at the moment, there's not a lot of people playing it. But it is definitely worth joining it. And like Mark's is saying in chat, there's a tutorial video in his channel on how to join it. You'd love it, mate. I reckon you'd really enjoy it if you don't mind a bit of PvP. Yeah, I'm more a PvE player, mate, but it's the closest we'll get to the old school Survivor games. Matches last about 45 minutes to an hour at the most. That shrinking circle, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. You definitely need to
I would
check it
love
out.
to try that out. Yeah. Is it just, what do you search in the
No,
in the server
you
list?
need to basically join the Discord. There's a bit of a process at the moment because it's still in pretty much, I'd say, alpha. But yeah, you being based in the US as well, mate, it'll be easier for you to be able to join matches, but it's a lot of fun. I might even see if I can. There it is, DayZ Battle Royale. Invite people.
I will definitely check it out.
There you go. I just sent you an invite to it. I'll grab it as well for everyone in chat. Yeah, definitely, Mark. Definitely drop the tutorial link, mate. But yeah, they usually most like in about 10 hours from now, probably not even that, 8 hours from now, there's usually a bunch of people trying to get together. And at the moment, like I said, the games have only been like 6 people or so per game, but I think they've had up to 20 in some of them. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Lot of fun.
Yeah, we just got to get the word out there.
Yeah.
Need some streamers to play it.
Yep. Exactly. It's gonna take off once he finalises it. But yeah, the problem he had was Bohemia were worried that it was going to be like a pay to win with special camos and stuff like that. But he's come up with a pretty good model of like you could approach him and work out a deal to get an outfit, well, Babynades added to the game.
Oh, the red jacket and the face mask.
Yep. And I've spoken to him about getting a podcast one, just to advertise the podcast on there. So people, when they join, you start off in a tracksuit once the game actually starts, and just a themed, brightly coloured. At the moment you start in a red one. Have you managed to have a chance yet go at it, Brim?
No, not yet. No, I've been a bit busy this week sorting a few bits and bobs out, so I haven't had a chance. But I'm planning on after the podcast jumping into his Discord and trying to see if I can sort a few bits and bobs out and get access to it in the next few days.
Yeah, it's a little bit painful at the moment, Babynades, but if you watch that video Mark's has linked in chat, it'll talk you through it. And you're a young guy, mate. You'll understand it a lot easier than I did. You got to go friend request with a certain account, and yeah.
Okay.
I think he'd be more than happy to get you on there, mate, to help showcase it.
We should get a group together and all go play it.
Yeah,
for a bit.
It's a lot of fun. It really is. Just loot pretty much everywhere, and ghillie suits. You can find them, and like I said, it's still early stages. He's working on airdrops and chopper crashes and stuff like that, and random circles, and it's just I've really enjoyed it so far. But I'm just happy for him that he was able to get the monetization issue sorted, because it could be, and it probably is. Well, I'm not going to say it could be. It's going to be a very, very big thing. Everyone, did you ever watch Survivor Games, Babynades?
No, that was a little before my time, I think.
Yep.
And then when they had I don't know what happened to the official one they had. It just kind of disappeared one day.
The worst part is, though, when you use the official launcher, it still has Play Survivor Games there.
It's actually offline, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but it makes me wonder. You would think, Brim, that they would have removed that button. Are they?
Yeah.
Are they secretly working on it, or have they got plans? Or
I think what it is they've gone, look, we're going to probably look into it again in the future. We might as well just leave it there because it's not taking up any extra resources. And then should we decide in the future we're going to revisit it, at least we've already got something in place for it. I don't think they're working. I mean, obviously, I've got no proof one way or the other. I've got no insider knowledge. I wish I did. But I don't think that they're going to be working on another Survivor Games for a little while yet, considering how much of an absolute cock up the most recent one was. I can't see them doing anything with that anytime soon.
No way they'd secretly be working on it, to be honest. It was such a catastrophe when it dropped. Once bitten, twice shy, I reckon. But yeah, it just makes you wonder why they haven't removed the button, though, Did you ever play it, Babynades, the mod they released?
I played it twice, I think.
It was terrible, wasn't it?
I actually don't remember. I watched the Running Man's video that he played, and then I played 2 games. I had trouble getting in because if you remember when it first launched, it kept kicking people out constantly and stuff. I had a lot of issues, and that was at a time when I was taking a long break from DayZ, I think. So, yeah, I didn't really play it.
Mark's is saying they should team up with Keegan. Who knows? I've said to Keegan, maybe we'll see Keegan as the next bloody player unknown / Dean Hall getting $1 million deal with Bohemia to buy the rights for his Battle Royale mod. I'd love to see that. I love success stories like that of people who make it, but yeah.
Makes it even better and easier when you know someone like Keegan who's actually a nice guy as well. Not that anyone else necessarily isn't, but obviously he's quite nice. And to be fair, I think Ray summed it up quite well there as well. Just murder everyone.
In the normal game, problem solved. No friends, only victims. # no friends, only victims.
I've managed to stay away from the wrong end of the barrel of his gun for a while. I'm on a bit of a streak, so I'm currently giving him a wide berth.
Mate. He's going to execute you the next time he sees you.
He's going to fuck me up, and there's nothing I'm going to be able to do about it either.
You'll get that anal prolapse, or you know where.
Not for the first or last time, I'm sure.
What else did we have? Sumrak and the Namol's treasure hunt. This was a piece of brilliance by Sumrak. His little treasure hunt that he did.
I was really surprised by it as well. Like, I mean, obviously, at the end of the day, it's Sumrak. He's a very intelligent bloke, and he is one of us, essentially. He is part of the community. He started out as a modder before he obviously took over the lead dev job. So it's not a massive surprise that he's done something like this, because he's very capable of something like this. It's just a shame he's having some website issues at the moment that's kind of hindering him going forward. But I did see somewhere he said something, I can't remember where I saw it, but he said something about it's going to be staying on Chernarus. So he's not going to do
because it's something to do with the law. Something to do with the new law.
But that got me thinking, like, obviously we all know, we've all seen the law behind DayZ to a degree, but like I don't think they actually said anything yet about is there any lore behind Livonia? Because obviously Livonia being an official map that was made by Bohemia for the actual base game, you know, it's not a modded map that someone can come up with their own random story. You know, this is a legitimate DayZ map. So
I imagine someone who's played Arma 3 Contact DLC would know what the lore is. I haven't played it. My son has. But I just know it's something to do with aliens.
I played the intro.
You did?
It was fun. Yeah.
What was it? What did they divulge in that?
I can't remember, to be honest. I don't like playing other PC games because it gets my controls mixed up, but it seemed really good.
My son's been on my back about finishing Red Dead Redemption 2, but that's kind of the reason why I don't either is, like, once I learn a set of controls, I have trouble. There's 2 games I'm playing at the moment, this and World of Warships, and, yeah, anything more, and my little brain can't handle that.
I love how he's putting these things on community servers.
Yes.
For people to go and find. That's really cool to include the community and like that.
Yeah, it's a stroke of genius, and a great way to build some hype up around it. Sorry, Diddy was just saying that he played a decent amount of Survivor games, and it truly was awful. Yeah, but yeah, no, it was a stroke of genius. He's a mastermind when it came to that, and the amount of people who were Dance of Jesus, who's in chat, was one of them, running around furiously trying to decipher it. I had no clue. I had no fucking clue what it was about.
I didn't even realise what was going on at first. The first I saw, I think, might have been maybe Septic Falcon put something up. I can't remember who it was. It was the picture of the pile of dirt between the rocks and the tree.
Yeah.
And I just immediately I remember there was a mod that we used to run on our server back when we were on Chernarus, and it was a mod where it would randomly have different plots like that, and you'd go around, there'd be photographs that you could find as part of the loot table, and you'd look at on the back of the photograph, it would have some writing, and it would give you a clue as to where it was. You go and dig it up, and then there was a sea chest with, you know, a gun, some ammo, stuff like that. You know, it just added a little extra PvE into the game. You know, it was a phenomenal mod. So that's what I thought of when I first saw it, and then I sort of looked through it a bit more, and I went, "Oh no, actually, that's actually something different. That's like Sumrak's done something here." And I looked into it and I saw what it was, and I thought that's pretty damn cool that he's, like Babynades said, that that he's gone through into a modded community server, especially a really good one like that, and decided to do it there. Hopefully he sort of spreads the love and does it to a few different communities, like does a different one each time, sort of gets the player base up on each then with any amount of luck.
Did you used to play a lot of World of Tanks, Babynades?
I've never played it. I think I own it, but I've never played it.
There you go, Moonshine. No, that's not the same Babynades. There's another Babynades out there, mate. Someone trying to steal your shtick.
Playing World of Tanks?
Yeah. Apparently so.
Huh. I know there's a couple fake ones on Twitch. At least there used to be.
Oh, that reminds me. It was a Dude I Rage. Had a tweet as well about someone creating a bunch of spam accounts in his name and getting himself banned from various Twitch chats and that. Dude I Rage 1, Dude I Rage 2, Dude I Rage 3, Dude I Rage 4. And they were all using his email address as well. And he kept getting these emails saying that his account was banned. And he was like, Twitch, is this something I need to be worried about? What's going on here?
It's very scary, the links that some people will go to just to troll you or to just be toxic towards you when you're in the public eye.
Oh, mate, I had someone just tonight upset about something that happened months ago come in here and said 3 rather choice swear words that I won't say or else it'll get demonetized. But yeah, it was like, it took me a while to remember what it was even about. It was like, what the? Oh, okay. So be it.
But the question is, were they right?
It's me.
Were you being one or more of those 3 swear words?
Oh, I always am. I always am. That's my shtick. But no, I'm really looking forward to seeing the next part of it. I know he said he's got some issues with his website again, But fingers crossed he gets another clue out soon, and Dance to Jesus and the rest of them can run for another 10 goddamn hours trying to find another fucking pile of dirt.
Is that how long it took? Oh my god.
That's how long he's saying he was running around for.
Well, that's the thing. I think the only clue literally was just that picture, wasn't it? There was no caption given a clue as to what
No, there was
part of the map it could
a
be
coordinates was in the code that he dropped. The video he dropped had an IP address and coordinates on the map. So it wasn't that hard, but it was then, the coordinates aren't exactly that narrow, and just finding this one little patch of dirt.
Needle in a haystack.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty cool though. I'm surprised. I'm surprised he did something like that, because I think even without knowing him very well, you kind of are always surprised, when something cool like that happens. But I'm really glad it does, and I'm looking forward to piecing that story together, because I can imagine that it's going to then obviously lead to the release of Namausk and going from there. It's going to be really, really cool.
What Zwitch is saying there is interesting. They didn't know how to read the coordinates. They mixed up X and Y. And Dancer Jesus saying, well, he said that it was obvious, but only if you use the vanilla map and not the Doug map that they've got, the custom one they've made. What else have we got? Oh, we're just talking about Doug. Can you hear me now? Listen up. Great stuff is coming. Body parts.
Oh yeah, that's all.
Here,
Yeah.
Love that.
I want that. I want that in so many ways. I just want to be able to just randomly walk up and meet some random survivor and just throw a foot at his head or something.
Now, Control-Alt-Delete Ammo, he's part of the Doug crew, isn't he?
I don't recognize the name.
He's an admin according to Twitter.
Yeah. Yeah, they are phenomenal when it comes to the custom mods they do for their server.
Oh yeah, I always tell people that the Doug mod that's on Steam is the most well organized, high quality looking mod.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many cool things about it, and it stays true to hardcore, stays true to vanilla, really.
They've done an amazing job. They were the original hardcore server that everyone played back in the day. Mr. Blackout did his series on there, and I know the Running Man had some great videos on there as well. And I even did a couple of little shitty videos back on it in the day. It's just an amazing server. I know they've had some issues along the way, but you get enough people together and there's always going to be issues. That's nothing about them as a group. That's just, it happens. People don't play well sometimes, but when it comes to the stuff they do with their server, they're one to envy. That I think every server that's out there wishes they could be as organised as DayZ Underground is. They're phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal crew. But I'm excited about that body parts. That for the likes of an Uncle Ray or a Danny Boy and Lax Hawthorne and even Fubar Bundy with his fillets. The people are going to be able to do a lot of weird stuff with it. I'm just wondering whether you can make a necklace of ears. They'd kind of have to, wouldn't they?
A ribcage armor. That would be cool.
Ribcage armor. Ooh.
Someone's bound to. There's got to be someone with all the incredibly intelligent and capable modders that are in this community now. There's got to be someone out there, even if it takes 2 or 3 of them linking up and joining forces. Someone's going to be able to make something really incredible just off that basic idea.
Marx wants to know if you can cook the body parts. But I just had this image of, Brim, you running around the corner, and there's Uncle Ray crouched down holding a skull, having a conversation with a skull in his hand. And
do you know what the worst part is? It wouldn't even be the first time.
Ballsack earrings, he's saying. Ballsack money out of pouch.
And he'd wear them well.
He would wear them well. But no, I like that. That's quite an interesting little thing, and just it adds a bit of depth to. There's so many servers out there that just treat it as another PvP game. There's a lot more you can do. A lot more you can do with DayZ, and just to mix it up, like you said earlier, Babynades, to make something a bit different than everyone else has out there.
Yeah. I wish there was hardcore servers on all the maps that people have made. That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a couple of modded maps that aren't very well developed yet, and they're still very early on. And if there was hardcore versions of them, you'd be absolutely buggered. You wouldn't find food ever.
Like I don't know what I'm gonna do when Essiker and the Malskeb's out. I'll have to split my time between them.
I'm actually gonna have to put in some effort to uploading a decent fucking YouTube video.
I think the Molsk people are just gonna go crazy for. Absolutely,
there's going to be
crazy.
so much content coming out around that.
I want to play the Namolsk mod map, not just the Namolsk map. I want to play and see what
put it all together.
Sumrak, what his vision of how DayZ should be played is, because I'm so excited for that, and I imagine you are as well, Babynades, because your server wasn't fucking easy, mate. Your server was pretty damned hard.
Yeah, it was pretty difficult. That made it easier for people. I increased weapons and stuff. But I'm super excited about Namalsk. I actually started not my career, but I started by playing Arma 3 Namalsk and doing missions and stuff on there before I ever got into DayZ. And I'm just dying to go back to it, and I think it'll be awesome.
It's going to be good. It's going to be very, very good. The next topic is just a quick shout out for one of our regulars in here, DayZ Daily Press. Have you heard of the DayZ Daily Press newsletter, Babynades?
Yeah, I saw the Twitter post about it. Showing New Dawn, I believe.
Yep, doing a showcase on the New Dawn server. But I like what he does. It's just, again, it's something a bit different. Bit old school, with a newsletter. But I like it. And he has these little crosswords and stuff on there.
I did notice the crossword the other day as well, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
I didn't attempt it because I know I'm absolutely shite at crosswords. So I thought there's no point in me even trying. But I think I retweeted it because it is a very, very cool thing to do that.
I just think it's a novel little idea, so I'm going to be retweeting it, and hopefully he starts to build a bit of an audience for it as well, and he can expand on it. And I think it's a great concept. For those who've got a few minutes spare, and damn good effort. He's doing a damn good effort there. Now, we had a viewer suggestion from at Jari. Lots of people discuss what they missed from early access DayZ, combat, medical system, etc. Is there any locations that have been reworked or added that you genuinely think was a mistake, not a good addition to the Chernarus map? The northern border, northeast, northwest airfield, Balota, as examples I see people complain about at times. I thought this was a brilliant question. Now, he actually put it up the week before last, but yeah, you do hear a lot of people talk about the additions to the map, to Chernarus. And, there's a bit of a vibe at the moment with people missing, the old school DayZ.
There's a few servers have popped up recently as well. A few modded ones on the DayZ standalone launcher using some sort of version of an older version of Chernarus as well.
Yeah.
So it's kind of giving that same vibe. But I mean, going along that lines of the different areas that have been added and moved, I think that's the one thing that I wish I'd thought to ask Sumrak when we had him on the podcast last month. Is about the fact that Northeast Airfield is just so
barren.
Yeah, there's nothing there. But then obviously when you look back at old pictures and you see there was actually stuff there, I'd be very interested to know what the what the thought process was behind changing that specifically.
I know what the thought was. The reason they moved it, and the same why they moved Balota tents and even Balota military, was the fact that you could just quickly run to those two locations from a spawn on the coast and be, especially in the early days, geared within a few minutes of getting off the coast. They wanted that progression cycle of get off the coast, work your way inland, and gradually get more and more geared the closer you got to the Northwest Airfield.
It took people out of the big cities on the coast too, because they would just immediately leave and go straight there.
I do miss them though. I miss Balota tents especially. That was one of my favourite locations. But yeah.
I mean, it kind of gives people like me something to do when I've got nothing else planned for the day. Back when we had our server on Chernarus, I could just go on, use DayZ's VPP admin tools, and just place custom and make custom versions of those areas. Because our server has never been a hardcore server; it's been a more interaction and roleplay based server. You can kind of scatter things around and edit things down to fit in with that theme. So, and I love doing that. I could quite easily, I think I sat there for about 3 days overall of basically just sitting there and like changing up how Mosquito Tents looks, changing Northeast Airfield. I made changes to Troitsko military base. And I went a little bit mental with it, to be fair. I think I needed to calm down after a couple of days, but it's so much fun to actually, to be able to make that. And I think that's one of the great parts about modded servers is you can do almost anything that you want, and it's it really adds something to it.
Yeah, so if you miss those areas, you can just go in right now and remake it. I did that on my server. I remade Northeast Airfield, and nobody went there. I made it exactly how it used to be.
Oh, see, I sat there and like I looked at pictures of the old version of it, and then I kind of made it slightly similar, but I tried to kind of make it my own to a degree, but kind of keeping that same feel with a few hangers and stuff like that. So
it is interesting though, with people saying they're missing it, but like I've even done it on my Livonia server. I worked with Dancer Jesus, and we added some custom locations, and he mixed up some of the locations as well. As much as people are missing the old, there's so many servers now, Babynades, where people are adding custom locations, like Brim was just talking about.
Oh yeah. To answer that question, I think that pretty much all the areas now, they look better except for Balota and Northeast Airfield. Those are kind of a little bit more bland now than they used to be, but
yeah.
I think the big problem is the player population. DayZ is a game that's fueled by player interactions, and the default is 60 players. But now you have all these new areas. You got like Northwest Airfield, it's like 3 times bigger than it used to be.
Yeah.
So you could literally have like 5 people there, and they'll never see each other. So really what DayZ needs is it just needs either a slightly smaller map where everything's a little bit closer together so you run into people more often, or they need to increase that population up to, I don't know, like 85, 100, so you see people more often. Then those big places like Chernarus and Chernogorsk and Northwest Airfield, you'll actually encounter people.
Well, there's a good few servers out, like modded servers out there now, where the population is like in over 100. Like Ben, our other co-host who's not here today, he runs the Blue Waffle Attack Force servers. His is constantly almost completely full, and I think they're at like 110, 120, give or take. And then you've got like a couple of the end zone servers at like 110, 111. So there's a few out there now that are getting up there, but I can't imagine trying to run a community of 100+ people. Like we're lucky to get our sort of half a dozen we get on ours, and yeah, that's more ball ache than I can imagine at this point.
Diddy and DOJ have got a couple of good points there. Northwest Airfield is no threat anymore. Way too much cover. Northwest Airfield is just too big for Chernarus, and I've got to agree. Like I remember the old Northwest Airfield. There was so much action there because it was pretty much 2 lines of movement. You moved on one side and then you moved on the other side, and you were guaranteed. But now is just so much there. But at the same time, I personally don't mind that, because I like to be able to run for an hour or 2 or 3 and then have an interaction. I'm quite happy running on my own and thumb in bum, mind in neutral, and then you hear a voice or you hear a footstep or you hear a shot and it scares the living bejesus out of me. But I know I'm in the very small minority there, but I think Diddy's right. It's crying out for some good 600 to 800 metre long-range PvP locations, which takes me back a bit to Mark said Moschino Tents, the old Moschino Valley. I never fucking went there. It was a death zone for someone like me.
Yeah.
I can't snipe to save myself. But the few times I did go in there, I got fucking sniped nearly every single time. But there was some amazing content made from the more PvP-oriented players. Just doing the counter-flanking, and yeah, it was a brilliant location. And then they changed it.
With Moschino, that kind of the combat you had there was totally unique from anywhere else on the map.
Yeah.
And now it's pretty much gone. You can't really experience that anywhere else.
No, it's close range again. You've got that one tree line, which is 200 to 300 meters, but that's about it. It used to be the Cross Valley, the counter sniper action, which was brilliant to watch. The snipers going there to hunt the other snipers, the ones who were there just to spawn camp, or not spawn camp, but camp the poor silly buggers like Boydie who'd go walking through there, thumb in bum, mind in neutral, and then you had the people there looking for those snipers, and that was some amazing content.
Yeah, I miss it. I really miss Moschino Tents.
Yeah.
Even Northwest Airfield Tents was really
Yes.
fun, like back when there was a lot of them.
Even across the airfield, like from one side to the other at the old Northwest Airfield, that was like 400 meters or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's like 5 miles.
And the ATC in the middle of the airfield, and it took balls of steel to run to that old ATC.
I still remember it to a degree. I think I kind of joined the fray just as they were sort of updating things and transitioning to the newer stuff. So it was. I've got some very, very vague memories of old ways, but I don't think I remember Moschino Tents before it looking like it does now. And even now, it's one of the few places that I will try to avoid if I don't have to go near it.
The infected there are brilliant. I will say that. They've got
Yeah,
a
they
good
are.
number of... I've died so many fucking times being an idiot and firing a shot and then just getting swamped. There's just... The amount of them that spawn there is insane.
It's weird as well. They seem to like literally come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like when we had our server on Chernarus, I would like free cam and teleport myself over there, look up, and I'd be like, right, so there's like 5 zombies over there. Oh, that's all right, not a problem. So I wander in, just looking around, being a div. I'd fire a shot, and then all of a sudden I had like 30 on me. I'm like, where did they all just spawn out of each other's asses or something? Where did they come from?
Yeah, plus you got the wolves there as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's not that much of a threat if going from a sort of PvE standpoint of, just dealing with the zombies. It's not a massive threat because if you just jump up on top of one of the HESCO barriers or on top of those big like camo net, 2-story platform things, you can stand up there and they'll all go in underneath, and you can sort of look through the cracks in the wood and shoot them if you're, if you've got the ammo. But like you say,
you start to worry though that you're attracting attention, and so you're an easy shot when you're up there.
Yeah, if you're on a server where people are more than likely going to come and give you a little love tap, then yeah, I would avoid that place like the plague or like the coronavirus. For
the most part, though, Babynades, I do like the changes to the Western Corridor. I think they've made it a much prettier area.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's actually pretty impressive how they made the mountainous area out there interesting. Yeah. They added the dam. They added the ski resort.
Yep.
It's actually really cool. I went over there. And I was really looking forward to just looting around. I do think it needs something though to draw people there that you can't get anywhere else.
Yes.
I don't know what exactly, but I just never have seen anybody up there.
it's quite rare to see anyone like really, really out west. Like in towns like Zvir, for example, such a phenomenal little town. Like I had a base there on a couple of different servers, and from that survival standpoint, if you're really trying to get immersed in it and live off the land and stuff, it is perfect because there's so many fruit trees around. There's so much farmland where you can grow things. There's animal spawns. There's plenty of zombies to have to contend with. It is absolutely a perfect area for that. But it seems like there's just, like you said, no one goes out there. There's not enough demand for that anymore. Everything's sort of run and gun, Northwest Airfield, Tissy sort of situations. There's not enough of that living out in the middle of nowhere sort of thing. And it's only a couple of kilometers run to a lot of places. So,
but it is good to have that area because you get the PvEers who are playing on a more traditional server. They love going out into that area. They can do their, hunting and just surviving off the land sort of thing and not have to worry about the PvPers coming too much. They're all going to be on the coast or Northwest Airfield or Tizzy, and they can just do their thing out there wandering. And it's a beautiful section of the map, though.
Yeah.
Probably the most beautiful section.
Yeah.
I think so too.
I've got some fantastic screenshots from over the years, like having bases out in that area and stuff. You go, you're no more than a 5-minute quick run from like some random mountain hilltop that makes you look over everything. You just go up there and turn your HUD off. The amount of phenomenal screenshots you can get from up there with all the different weather and lighting effects and stuff that you can get in DayZ now, it really adds something to it.
There's an idea for a mod. Give me more fish, different sizes, weight and length. I imagine that'd be pretty easy for someone to do.
Well, Zeroy's done the fishing mod, didn't he, before the devs put it into the fishing back into the base game. So he obviously knows how to do something along those lines. I know he's working on that guitar playing mod at the moment, but I think it would be pretty cool
that sounds
to see
cool.
that.
Oh, it is very cool, mate. It is very cool.
Custom animations by the looks of things as well.
You can actually, using the emote wheel, get your character to play certain tunes. They're going for like, free to use sort of songs and that. I told them they should hit up Barely Infected and see if they can add his summer song and hit up Estoc Keen and maybe add Moselina as songs you can play on the guitar there.
I want to see one where it's like an electric guitar and you can get like proper heavy metal, like shredding, head banging the lot. That's what I want to see. I think we're a little bit away from that yet, but it's what they've got at the moment with like his hand actually moves up and down the fretboard and he's actually got like the movement in the wrist actually playing the, strumming the strings. It's really, really clean looking so far. And it's still quite, from what I can tell, it's still quite early on as well. So, the future's pretty bright for that.
Oh man, I've not seen that yet. That sounds super interesting.
Yeah.
Is he just doing the guitar or is he doing other instruments? Like, I don't know.
I think they are looking at other instruments, but at the moment it's the guitar.
Big, like 6-foot double bass or something like that.
DOJ said he's going to record some good old death metal. Be right back.
I'm all over it. Send it to me. DMs are always open for that.
Inclement Dab. This is about the haven't posted any updates to the on the editor since I've just been 100% focused on preparing for open beta. I'm going to have to delay the beta to the October 7th. I promise it's worth the wait. Thanks for understanding. Be sure to join the Discord for updates. Now I'll put that link in there, but we've been following this quite closely. We've had him on as a guest twice now, is it? Or just once?
Twice. I was just thinking that myself. I was trying to think whether it was once or twice, but no, it was twice, yeah.
Yeah. So, do you know much about it, Babynades?
No, actually, I don't. I've seen some of his posts and stuff. Is it a map editor?
Yes.
Or is it like a locations editor?
A locations editor. So, not for making an actual map, but for custom editing the map.
The vanilla. That's cool, yeah.
It is brilliant. It is really good. So, like, even an idiot like me could work it out. For someone like Brim, who's already had experience with placing buildings and stuff like that, I imagine he's just sitting there going, let me get my hands on this.
I can't wait. I hope that it can work on a lot of modded maps as well. Like I say, ours runs on Deer Isle, so being able to add things like that would be absolutely phenomenal. The fact that you can do things on the fly live whilst the server's running as normal as well.
Yep.
You know, I think it's brilliant. You don't have to take your server down, make a bunch of edits, then restart it, bring it back up. It's, you know, to be able to do everything then and there. And the amount of stuff that he showed us, just that first time we had him on, you know, the amount of original stuff he showed us, and now to see how he's progressed and how the technology's changed and he's sort of tweaked things and moved things along, it's going to be... There's going to be a lot more custom editing on a lot of servers, I think, now.
He actually streams Babynades. You should definitely...
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I'm just getting his
Probably a little bit
link
more than
now.
is healthy, though.
He's quite a
streamed
funny
for like
bugger.
18 hours at a time.
Like, look at the views he's getting on his videos, his VODs. So 822 views, 533 views, 351 views, 586 views. And he's only got 1,300 followers. So people are really, really excited for this. So if you ever do bring your server back, mate, this is going to be something that's going to make it a lot more accessible. Like, he's got like a brush function where instead of having to place each tree individually, you just drag it across the screen and it plants a forest for you.
Oh man,
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It's like a tree paintbrush tool. It's so cool. And the great thing is you can plant it in the middle of a road as well. So just, you know, if you're like me and you're a complete asshole, you can just plonk a couple of trees in the middle of a road while someone's driving up it, give them a little obstacle course, you know.
because yes, he said you can do it
brilliant.
on the fly as well. He did say that, didn't he, Brim?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's such a cool mod, such a cool thing that he's created.
One time I like my first server I ever did, I tried to put trees in the very center of Northwest Airfield between both sides, and it actually looked really cool. I would love to do that again.
That does sound pretty good.
It totally changes the whole map, or not the whole map. It totally changes the airfield.
I don't know about
really cool.
the whole length of it, but patches of them. So there's still periods where you're exposed to the other side, but then you can get to cover again. And then you're exposed again, and then you can get to cover again. And yeah.
It didn't make any sense that there'd be trees in the middle of the airfield, but it looked cool, and that's what mattered the most.
Well,
and it was fun.
I mean,
Well, I know
not full
Wee Devil's
trees,
done
but
a lot of changes. Wee Devil's done a lot of changes to Northwest Airfield on his Blue Waffle Attack Force server. He put a few things up on his Twitter about a month ago. I think it was while I was on my vacation when we had Sunrack on, and he had made loads and loads of changes to Northwest Airfield, like filled out all the areas just sort of to the left of the tents as you're looking at them with the ATC behind you.
Mm-hmm.
That whole left-hand area there that's kind of industrial and barren. He's made a bunch of changes to that. You know, it's really cool.
nice.
Yeah, there's plenty of space there. You could add a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I started doing some for our server, and then we decided to move to Deer Isle. So luckily, our server owner saved all the file info, so we can go back to it. But yeah,
See, but I'm kind of
what
of
Ben
the
did to
opinion
it
that
was
the
cool.
Northwest Airfield now has too much. Adding more stuff there, other than maybe if it's something, like a trader or something like that. But Northeast Airfield is where I'd be going.
Yeah, I mean, the stuff that Ben added at Northwest, there wasn't a huge amount of like military stuff that he added. At
Yep.
one point, he did add, like in the top right-hand corner of it, he did add a big apartment tenement building, one of the really ridiculously tall ones. So that just adds for a different type of engagement in there, you know, and just adding a lot of little buildings and, you know, sort of hidden gems and stuff, which I think was really cool, because obviously his server is a far more PvP base raid kind of focused server. So adding a lot of stuff like that to an area like that.
Oh, that's the other
that's
thing the
remained unpaved.
editor does, Babynades, is you can view object spawns, item spawns. Basically, it shows you where the actual spawn locations for items are in each building, and you can add or modify them or stuff like that. It was, brilliant. That was the thing that excited me the most. It was like, because I've always thought, some of the spawn locations in rooms, I'm kind of an evil bastard as well. When I'm able to get my hands on it, I want to make it into, walk into the room. What's the first thing you look at? Most people just walk in and then turn around. I want to be able to place something behind the door or in the bucket over there, and just make things.
Oh, so you can actually place the spawn points inside the buildings yourself manually. Oh my gosh.
Using this editor tool.
That's a game changer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially for those apartment buildings that no longer spawn any items.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, we mentioned it with him when he was on the podcast, and he showed where the spawn locations used to be in those buildings, and obviously how they look now with 0 loot spawns in there. And I remember when that was when I first started on DayZ, was when all you would find in there was tents.
Yes.
And I remember those when you go out into a room and they always have that little what do they call it? Balcony, and but they weren't solid metal. You could fall through. I made that mistake a couple of times, and about 3 tents on me and just go down like a sack of shit, and then not know where I am, can't find my way back.
DOJ saying it's not implemented yet, I think, but soon.
Yeah, I think he was talking about he wanted to get it implemented, but I think he was more concentrating on a lot of the other stuff first that he knew was working a lot better.
DOJ, just so you know, Babynades is the guy who did all the custom map work for the expansion mod.
Yeah, I know him.
Yep.
Because we had expansion on my server for quite a while, actually, a couple months.
What did you think of it?
Oh, I thought it was great. I loved it.
Yep.
Helicopters, man, that makes the game way more interesting.
I've even got them on my server, where I'm going for the most hardcore experience possible, but they're fun. There's something to give people a reason to keep on moving around, to try to find the parts. Like, between me and all the guys I work with, we still haven't found all the parts for one. So just by having it, it's something that keeps us moving around the map. It's a good mod. I've copped a bit of flack, but yeah.
Like, what have you done to make your server more hardcore? Besides like the general stuff, which is like lowering food and stuff like that.
There's a mod called Hell Survival, which I absolutely love.
Those are amazing mods, yeah.
Yeah.
I use those.
So I've basically got tools to the very bare minimum that I can. So finding hammers, axes, stuff like that is, when you find one, you want to look after it. I fucked up tonight. I had a hatchet and I just wasn't paying attention. I was breaking down walls while we were rebuilding our base, and I ruined the hatchet. So now we're back to making stone cutting tools through the use of that mod. I've reduced food to next to nothing. If you're lucky, you may find 1 or 2 pieces of food in the town. Brim's been playing on it a bit lately.
You're fucking telling me. And there's an Australian admin on there that likes to make you shit your pants by thinking there's a bear creeping up on you. So yeah, you really
the raw box, raw box. You know the one, Babynades.
You got to watch out for that.
You actually missed it tonight. Because I've been doing that so often, people are getting used to it. I've just upped the bear spawns on it. But we've got a bit of a joke here. There's always the issue of admin abuse, but then there's fun admin abuse. And Brim was telling stories what he did. Mine is when someone's on, I teleport near them and I use the raw box or the woo box to make wolf or bear noises. Now, I've been doing that to Moonshine, who's in chat as well, quite a bit. And tonight on stream, I gave him God mode. So he didn't know he had God mode. And then he was inside the base and I spawned a bear in the room with him. And then I shut the door because I forgot to give myself God mode. And then you just hear him go, ha ha, Boydie, I'm not falling for this time. I'm pissing myself laughing. Moonshine's in there sorting through inventory in the tent. And then he says, I hear this footstep next to me. He had himself...
I was watching it and I wondered why you left the room. I saw you spawn the bear and then I saw you leave the room and I'm sat there thinking, why did Boydie leave the room? I was like, oh, maybe he just doesn't want the bear to aggro on him because he wants to scare Moonshine. I didn't realise you'd forgotten to give in yourself.
Yes.
You're such an admin abusing noob, though, aren't you?
I am. I am the worst cheating admin you will ever meet. Oh god, I would get exposed in seconds. But it was hilarious. Boydie, make it go. He had himself backed into the corner of a medium tent, trying to hide from this fucking bear walking around in there.
He did what I would have done, just backed up into that tent. The only thing he did different that I would have done is he didn't cry. I think I might have just gone and weeped in the corner for a little bit.
As Liam saying, there are a lot of servers I play on have a lack of spawn points far southwest. That's the reason few people go there. Yeah, it's a bit risky putting spawn points and Chernarus in that far southwest because you've got Pavlovo military and you've got the southwest evac point and Prison Island as well, where it can be easy to get gear there. So I think they've kind of gone with the progression of east to west. Not so much, and there used to always be the southeast corner was the majority of the spawns, and you worked your way to the northwest corner.
When you have spawns down there, people just kill themselves over and over until they get them.
Yeah.
Because they're such a good spawn to get, like Kaminka.
It was interesting talking about spawns, listening to D-Hop and Fubar Bundy in their last video. And they were playing on the, I don't know what the server was. He hid the server name. But spawn selectors. And people spawning at Zelenogorsk. And I just,
Yeah, I mean, I know Ben's got one on his server because his is a more PvP focused server. When you spawn into like an aircraft hangar with a spawn selector, and one of them spawns you at Balota Airfield, which is really good because he's got a very customized Balota, and you spawn with a taser. So you just see people just running around Balota, just having mad PvP for hours.
Yeah.
So it works depending on the server. I think for a lot of servers it wouldn't, but for servers like his, I think it does work out quite well.
It's crazy how different people want DayZ to be between like everybody has a different opinion of how it should be.
Yeah. And there's no right or wrong. There's no right or wrong. There's you're entitled to your own way. And it's an issue of mine. I can be a bit elitist at times, but there's no right or wrong way. You play DayZ however you enjoy it. That's the beauty of it now, especially on PC. There's a server to suit almost everyone, and if there's not, it's not that hard. If I can fucking get a server up and running, basically, anyone can do it.
Yeah, and I mean, I think we say it every week, don't we? We kind of touch over the same point. Like you say, there's something out there for everyone now. You know, the future's bright. Like you say, Boydie, there's life left in this old girl yet. It's not going anywhere. You know, there's so many different options. I mean, I play on different types. Like I say, I've recently sort of made the foray into a bit more hardcore to a degree with Boydie's server. I did jump on Babynades Island a few days ago, nearly froze my poor little testicles off, you know, but made it after a few minutes, you know, and it is a different experience, and it is a lot of fun. So like you say,
and then the likes of the deathmatch server, Battle Royale server.
I love it. Yeah,
it's great times.
It's so much now. There's
almost
so
like
much
coming
variety.
back to a golden age again.
Yeah, I think that's got to have played into people like Shroud, Summit, guys like that coming back to playing it, because it's even regardless of the variety of modded servers and what have you. Now the game's in a probably as good a state as it's been in for a very long time, and then when you add in, like you say, all this variety of different play styles on different modded servers, it's such a different game from what people left it with a bad taste in their mouth years ago, and it's such a different game, such a better game now, that it really is heading in the right direction. And I think Sumrak's got, not only obviously being the lead project dev, but even if he was just on the team and not the lead dev, I think he's brought a lot of that into fruition.
He's done a great job so far.
Mars has just got a question there. Do you guys think they'll ever add Ragdoll back? I believe they want to, but there's Sumrak talked
so.
about this, didn't he, Brim?
I think so. I can't remember what you said, but yeah, I would love ragdoll, and I want it to be something that you can change as well. So you can, like, for example, you can have it so that if you get shot with a Makarov, a little 380 auto that, you know, is basically a pea shooter, that if you die from that, your ragdoll's very limited. But if you're on a modded map and someone hits you square in the chest with a 50 cal, you know, you go from one end of the map to the other. You just absolutely get annihilated and your body goes flying. I would love to see it really be tweakable.
Gore would be interesting.
Yeah.
Like, you shoot somebody and they fly apart if you hit them with a 50 cal.
Yeah. Or maybe it's something for, you know, for that body parts mod. You know, maybe you can kind of implement that with the ragdoll side of things and kind of, you know, tweak it in a bit.
Bit like some of those games like Doom and that, where the body just explodes into pieces and gore and
I hate to say this, but I'd like to see, like, the grenade traps return.
Yes.
Like putting the grenade in the backpack and setting it in the middle of the road.
I think there's a mod that does it. Is it Mass? I think it is the Mass mod. I think has implemented a version of a tripwire trap back. So you get like a couple of I think it's rope and a couple of sticks, and you can craft a trap, and you just attach an unpinned grenade to the inventory of it, and then if a player walks over it, trips it, it blows up, and then the trap just sort of lays there ready to be used again. Which is really fun if you chuck a flashbang in it and stick it outside someone's base and wait for them to come outside. That's really fun. But yeah, it's definitely a vanilla feature I think we all want to see back at this point.
More, but not just that one, but there needs to be more booby traps and stuff like that. It's just, I'm totally with you on that one. I don't like landmines. Landmines are just too easy to use. I think they should have to be buried at least, and there should be, whereas with setting up the improvised grenade booby trap, there was a process involved in it. You had to find the wire, then cut the sticks, then craft it, then unpin the grenade and put the grenade on it, and make sure you don't fucking step on it yourself, which I did the first time I ever. It was, a bit more skill.
I've blown myself up a good few times.
Oh, I still do it. I still blow myself up with grenades. But it's stuff like that, like those old features, the grenade stuff, the being able to play Russian roulette with the Magnum, stuff like that. I would love to see return at some point.
They are bringing the Russian roulette back, but I would have. Yeah, I'm glad to have the revolver back, but it would have been great if it had come back with Russian roulette again, just because there's so much fun you can have with that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it kind of goes back to those early videos people were doing, where, you know, you'd put the damaged or the jammed gun, you know, on the floor, and you know, and have someone tied up in the middle of the road, and kind of you have to choose whether or not you want to kill the person for their loot or free them, and you know, it kind of adds into that the amount of sort of content that can come out of that, you know, of kidnapping people and making them play Russian roulette and things like that would just. It just ups that amount. I think it ups that amount of content value, which then in turn just is free advertising for the game. So I think it's a win-win all round to add that feature back in.
Yeah. Yep, definitely. So many features that we are still waiting for them to bring back, and hopefully they'll expand more. And you know, they've hinted at stuff, and the Moles looks like it's going to have a bunch of features associated with it as well, which. I think we touched on it last week, Babynades, but if he's making the Moles as hardcore as it sounds like it's going to be, I think there's going to be a lot of people waiting to get their hands on the mod just to see what they can do with it with other maps as well.
Didn't Vanilla 1.09, that pretty much turned pretty hardcore from what I've experienced.
Yeah. But
it's much harder now.
Food, didn't they? Yeah, didn't they like really lower the food? I don't know if it was a bug or if it was intended, but I know a lot of people on Twitter were bitching and moaning, as they quite frequently do, giving it the I went through like 3 towns and didn't even find so much as a can of tuna.
Yeah, there were even some big name people were complaining about it too.
Yeah, it's like I say, I don't play vanilla anymore, so or not very often anyway. I play every time they have a new experimental patch, But other than that, I don't tend to play vanilla that much anymore. So it's pretty difficult to say. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's a survival game. If you like, I mean, I'm absolutely, I'm not even close to used to playing hardcore. But if I can survive for over 28 hours in game, not in one sitting, obviously, but on Boydie's server, on a hardcore server, then if I can do that, there is absolutely no reason why big streamers and YouTubers that are complaining about the food spawns can't do the same. The guys that have been playing the game since the day it came out, since it was a mod.
I think it's just impatience. They don't want to. They want PvP. They don't want to go through the whole survival thing.
But I'll give them a bone on this one as well. It's not just impatience, but as a hardcore streamer, that's what I predominantly stream. I get low viewers, and yes, that's partly due to my personality. I'm pretty fucking boring kind of guy, other than when I'm stirring people on Twitter. But watching someone sit there and cutting up rags to fucking then make himself an improvised rope, and then getting a stick and finding a chicken and finding 2 stones and all the rest of it. It can be done easily, but it's boring to fucking watch. These guys, guys need their 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 viewers, and then they're not going to hang around just to watch people survive. They want action. They want interaction. And when you're spending most of, it can take 30 minutes or so before you get an improvised fishing rod going, depending on how lucky you are, especially if you don't spawn with a knife or anything like that, and you've got to craft a knife, and that's 30 to 60 minutes of time just to leave the first town you started off in. Me, I love that, but I understand that that's boring to a lot of others. But yeah, you can't really complain though, because on PC it just means that's why PvP streams do so well. There was an interesting question there. Switch said, how do you feel about the lead dev making an unofficial mod? Marx has summed it up. The lead dev was a modder before he became lead dev, so it's really a good thing.
I think if depending on how it turns out as well. I think we've all got quite high expectations for what Namalsk, not only the map, but the other side of it, the survival side of it as well. I think it's gonna be different from the DayZ that we know. But I think it's going to mean that it's going to bring about some features and some things that we're all going to have to adapt to, that we're going to look at and go, right, this is what we like. We can give feedback on that. And then because he's the lead dev, he can give that feedback to the team and say, right, well, people clearly like this. Maybe for the base game, we should actually look at implementing a couple of bits and bobs as well. So I think there could be a little bit of sort of cross-pollination to a degree with that, that could sort of benefit us all in the long run.
I agree. Well said.
And we've spoken with the guy, and we've even said, I would love it if Bohemia hit him up and said, would like to buy this off of you and release it as an official DLC. I would have no problems paying for it. Because, I've donated to Sumrak. For those who don't know, on his website, there is a link there where you can donate to him. I know he's got a job and all the rest of it, but it's just how I was more than happy to do it, because I love what he's doing. He's so passionate about the game, and he's gone back to a bit of the old. He's not as public as say a Dean Hall or a Brian Hicks or Batty was, but he's out there. He's playing games with Septic Falcon and Helkiana and Inclement Dab and Dancer Jesus, playing bloody Among Us with them. It's just great to see him being such a vocal part of the community again.
Yeah, he is literally, like I said earlier, he is one of us. That's how he got his start before he even started as the lead dev, for Bohemia. So
they hired him as the mapper because of his experience at Namalsk.
Exactly, yeah, and it's well deserved. And like you said, yes, he's got a job and and everything, but everything he's doing with Namalsk and his streams and stuff like that, he's doing in his spare time off his own back, voluntarily for fun. Because he wants to create. At the end, like I say, he's still at the end of the day, he's part of the community, and he wants to create something for the community. So if anyone's got a spare couple of dollars here or there, you should definitely throw it his way.
Oh yeah, for sure.
In the chat there, Mars is saying, I like the hardcore because it affects the interactions. One thing that surprises me, like I'm in the DayZ standalone community on Facebook, and I check Reddit out every now and then as well. But one of the things that makes me laugh is the amount of people complaining about how easy DayZ is. That, the servers, you're finding guns everywhere. And they're obviously playing on community servers. But it still seems to me, Babynades, like hardcore servers, people, they're complaining that even vanilla isn't hardcore enough. But they don't realise there are servers like yours was, like I'm trying to make mine, like DayZ Underground, like Run, like New Dawn DayZ, that are trying to make DayZ harder than even vanilla is. It just seems like there's not enough exposure, mate.
Yeah, I think so. I think the first person thing is what pushes a lot of people away. But the reason I like hardcore more is because it heightens all of your emotions.
Yes.
Like you're more afraid of dying than you would be if it wasn't so hard to get all this stuff. The people are, you can't see over walls and stuff, so it makes everything feel more immersive. That's just my personal preference, but yeah. I'll never go back to third person because it's just not the same. I play third person only for the first 3 years that I did YouTube, and then for the last year I've just been doing one first person, and it's so much better. Everybody should give it a chance.
Yeah, I know there was I think was it the Red Zone? I think was one of the servers. I know they had a feature or a mod somewhere where I never played on it, but Hellfire did for a bit, and he said they had a feature where it was third person, but the second you pull a gun out, it forces you into first person.
Yeah, I remember that.
So you kind of get that little bit of best of both worlds, depending on obviously what you're doing, but.
And yes, Mark, people do think first person is hardcore, but part of that reason is DayZ itself. Back in the very early days, first person mode was called hardcore. I can't remember, I think was it normal and hardcore?
I think that's what they called it, wasn't it? Way back when.
Yeah. I can't remember.
There are a few streams that mentioned it, like back in the day. They were saying how it's not, it wasn't as hardcore, so they changed it to third person, first person.
Yeah, I think I can recall them calling them hardcore servers in the official launcher.
Yeah,
at one point.
Yeah, it was. The Vigilante Gamer did a video on it, and Brian Hicks actually changed it from the old names to TPP and FPP based on Vigilante Gamer's video. That first person is not hardcore. He said that as much as it is, in some aspects it's harder, but you've got to agree that third person is still hard as well, because it just becomes a camp fest, waiting for who's going to be the first person to expose themselves, because they both.
I would say third person is harder than first person.
Yeah,
simply because of that. It kind of seems like it wouldn't be, because when you're playing third person, you have that bonus of being able to see way above your head and over walls and stuff.
Yep.
But they can too. The guy you're trying to kill can see over walls too. So
whereas first person's harder because you've got to have the skills to back yourself to peek and try to get that information that you can't get by just using a camera angle.
Yeah.
Gary's saying Doug is not hardcore. All the loot is behind walls, base building with 10 plus gates. That doesn't make it hardcore. That's a fair point as well. And it's something I've got to work on my server as well. Is I'm looking at the bases, but that's due to some formulas I've got to change. But I basically want it to be that you can really only ever afford to get 1 or 2 gates up, sort of thing at the most. And I'm really hoping the expansion mod do something like more doors. More doors is my dream mod. More doors is fucking brilliant.
I'm trying to get our server owner to put it back on.
Yeah.
Because we used to have it on Chernarus back in the day, but I think it conflicted with a different mod we had back then. I just don't think he's revisited it. It's such a phenomenal mod.
Yeah, I looked at that one time. I thought some of the textures were a little strange, so that's why we never added it. But what it actually, it's very practical for basing in houses and stuff, which is
Yeah.
Yeah,
cool.
it gets people to use existing structures, which reduces the impact on the server as well, as you'd know, Babynades. You have the big McMansions everywhere, and it just tanks a server. Whereas if people are just locking down existing houses and stuff, makes it better.
I think it makes for better bases generally as well, like better looking bases.
Yes.
Like I love the expansion base build. That snapping feature is absolutely fun. I love it. And
It's great, yeah.
And that's what we use on our server, and I love the base I've
To be
made
fair,
on
Base
our
Building
server.
Plus has that as well. It was just a bit
Yeah.
more. It wasn't as user friendly. It was a kind of a clunky interface.
Yeah, but like now, like if like for example, I can't remember. I think people call it City Hall, the big tall one in Novo.
Yep.
You know,
Clock
if you
tower.
try and if you go up to that, you've got like you've got 2 floors with like 8 total rooms that you can use if you don't count the top floor. But if you're trying to base build, you know, and wall off those doors using the expansion or even the vanilla base building, you've got a big ass wall that clips through into the next room. So you take out a portion of that next room. So if you use more doors, you just chuck a door on front of it with a code lock on it. Bosh, there you go. You've locked down that room, and you've got that in. You know, you've got your entire room is to yourself, and the other rooms can do whatever. Perfect for if you've got like a clan or a community that you have within your server that wants to take over a building like that for half a dozen players.
Gary saying servers, instead of limiting raiding tools, should limit code locks. Yeah, that's my plan though. Code locks are going to be rare.
It's really hard to balance all that. That's the hardest thing to do, I think.
The amount of time you spend going through XML files, Babynades.
Oh god, I see them in my sleep. I hate them.
So I can't hit you up to do some work on mine. The amount of people who just say, "Nut, work it out your fucking self." It's the bane of every server's existence is getting the loot table right.
Oh yeah,
it's been a ball ache on our server,
and then you miss something. Like I missed a bunch of which mod was it? Mass's guns, the mags for them and the guns. I just total blonde moment. I forgot about it. And the next thing, everyone's running around with M417s and stuff like that.
And you gotta wipe.
Yeah.
I really messed up, or we really messed up on my server last wipe because we had one of the raid tools as the fire axe, and I forgot that you can repair that. So people could pretty much raid an entire base with a single fire axe and just keep repairing it.
Yep. Oh, that would have been painful, mate. That would have been painful. That's what day one servers are, so popular. You don't have to balance base building shite. And for a normal player, yeah, and that is probably one of the biggest successes of the day one servers is why they kind of made them. And it's kind of sad. Diddy was trying to do the same here in Australia with the alternative. It never really took off because people want bases here. But I totally understand Diddy's dream for it in that, the old DayZ where there was no bases. It was, remember the joy of running through the forest and finding a tent. You were so fucking excited. Yeah. Or a barrel stashed in a tree and you were like, oh shit, I just found a base. Fucking, now it's, you see them and they're building them right in the spawn towns. And you just, I'm never going to be able to get in there, am I? And it's usually a big clan and they've got the 10 gates and...
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I ran through the middle of a forest on any server and just found a tent that was someone had hidden there as a base, or the last time I saw a YouTube video where someone was raiding a base in the middle of a forest. Like you say, everything's in the spawn towns, everything's so easily accessible now that you don't see that as often anymore.
But base raiding is it's one of the funnest things. It's so unique.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm lucky. I'm in a good position. I'm going to be splitting my streaming with playing on those servers where there's no base building, and then I'll have my YouTube series where I will be base building. So I get to experience both. But I think people lose a lot when they don't have base building at all. It gives you an end game. That's where it's useful.
And it is good for the faction sort of servers as well. But unfortunately, there's always politics that come with it as well. I've been guilty of that myself. I got raided on DayZ Down Under, and I carried on like a pork chop. It was a bit bad the way it happened, but it was an offline raid, which I hate at the best of times, but it happened, and yeah.
Yeah, that's the worst part about it. Offline raiding.
Yeah. Now you have...
Honestly...
Sorry?
There's a lot of mods now that kind of... that can limit that. Now I think you can change... I don't know if you can change it in the expansion mod, but I think I remember seeing there was some mods out there that made it so that you can set raid timers, for example, so that like only between certain hours on certain days the raiding's even possible, so that if someone goes up to try and raid a wall out of those hours, it physically doesn't let the animation happen. You physically cannot do it.
What were you going to say before, Babynades?
I was just going to say that, the faction politics is the worst part of owning a server. Is having to deal with all that. But yeah, I played on a server once that they only had a designated day where you could raid, and everybody would get online on that day and just sit in their base and not raid anybody because they were afraid they were going to get raided.
Yeah, I think we had that on a server I used to play on as well. We had it where you would have like a core group of like two different groups of people that would specifically go out and base raid every single time, twice a week during the raid hours. It was like a 4-hour period, and it was everyone on the would sit in their bases with the exception of those two crews, and those two crews would just go out and fucking decimate people. And it made for really, really interesting gameplay. But like you say, so many people, myself included, would just sit in their base and just basically protect their base, or like me, log in halfway through a base raid or something, and just end up getting your head taken off, because back then I wasn't very good at PvP, and some say I'm still not, but it can be quite a ball ache.
Gary's got a good point there. We have 10,000 base building mods, but still not a single actual heli crash mod. DayZ needs more dynamic events, no more base building, in my opinion.
Yes.
I agree. And it's something that I am looking at for my own server. And I saw Fubar Bundy did it on his server. He had some special helicopter models. He had what they called a Dunnings truck, which was a take on a hardware chain here in Australia called Bunnings, where you could get furniture if you found it. And but even just stuff that's not just that. I still remember, I brought it up time and time again, but Brian Hicks did a tweet where someone had come up with an idea, and he saw it on his Twitter feed or on Reddit or something, and it was a dynamic event where it spawned a fortified house in a town. So imagine in Electro, a house suddenly
that's
becomes
a great idea.
Fortified, and it's filled with infected. And to be able to get the goodies that are inside it, you have to break into this base and then fight all the infected that are in there and on the streets around it. And just, if it's done in the right sort of town, in Electro or Chernarus or something like that, then you've got freshies adding, that lovely little bit of chaos that only freshies can bring. They've got nothing to lose. So the geared guys are all there with their raid tools, and then one of them gets whacked in the fucking head with a taser or something. I don't know. Tank Daz is saying Survivor Missions is a good mod for dynamic events. That's something that definitely needs to be worked on. Did you have anything like that on yours, Babynades?
We occasionally would set something up, like an event, like a mini event, where we would bury something and then spawn a bunch of zombies around it and tell people to go there. They'd all fight each other.
But yeah,
we had stuff like that, but it was very minimal. A
good mod that you could just install, and it's customized to the map you're playing on. I might have to check out that Survivor Missions, Tank Dazza. If you've got a link, post it in chat, mate. Anyone can post links in here. That sounds like something that we definitely might want to have a look at in a future episode of the podcast, Survivor Missions. I think I've heard of it. But yeah, stuff like that. I know I spoke to Dewan because he's working on an airdrop mod as well. And I said something that'd be great is, like, I've got the messages turned off on my server. So the only way you'll know an airdrop is coming is if you're lucky enough to see the plane. What I would love to see is an airdrop mod where it broadcasts over a radio frequency. One of the biggest problems I have with DayZ is no one hardly uses the fucking radios in the game. There's a few servers where they do, but when the airdrop is coming, if a message comes over the radio, fucking great. It'll encourage people to have a radio going, and then you get those lovely moments where someone forgets they've got their radio on and they start talking. Oh, hi, are you friendly? Wait, and you get to hear someone dying and just adding a bit more life to the server. Like I remember someone telling me the reason they have kill feed on their server was it lets people know the server's alive. That's bad to me. That's bad. The server's alive because you can hear shots, you can see evidence of players having been around and stuff like that. It
would be cool to just turn on your radio and you're hearing all kinds of chatter across the map. But that literally never happens.
Probably the best one for it was The Village back in the day, where they had the no VoIP rule, no TeamSpeak or Discord or anything like that, and everyone talked in-game.
I'd love to do that.
But it's hard to enforce.
I'd say not only is it hard, it's hard to enforce, it's hard to prove if someone, that someone's breaking that rule, but also nowadays with, not everyone's got a decent mic, not everyone's even got one, and when you add into the fact now that the amount of people I've run into in-game in the last week alone that don't know that things like bike helmets, face coverings, things like that muffle your voice, people still don't realize that's a thing. So it does add that little bit of extra difficulty to it to a degree.
I do like server chats, but nobody else does that plays on my server, so we would never implement it. I think it's kind of a cool thing to do, though. It does make the server feel alive.
I think I played on a server the other day. I can't for the love of me remember what it is. I'll have to go back and have a look into it. But I played on a server the other day where they had it so that you had to have a radio on you with a battery and everything. And it popped up with a message on the screen every so often saying, tune into this channel. And it will, for a Survivor broadcast or something, you tune into it and you don't actually hear anything over the radio, unfortunately. But you would get like a little message pop up in the bottom left of your screen saying, such and such has happened in this town. There'll be some good loot there. And it was basically like a dynamic event. It would come up with that notification, which you would only get if you had a radio on you tuned to that frequency and turned on. And then you could obviously, you could cooperate then with other people that have tuned in and say, look, are you going for that? Let's team up. Let's share the loot. And it'd basically be almost like an airdrop situation where, suddenly there would be a crate with loads of really good loot in it, but the only way you would know about it or where the location was if you had a radio turned on. If you didn't physically have that radio on you with a battery and turned on to that channel, you would not get that notification saying, go to this place for this cool loot. And it would always have a story behind it. Be like, Dave tried fighting off some zombies in Zelenogorsk. We haven't heard from him for 48 hours. Can someone go, can someone go and investigate? Whatever you find, you can keep. Just let us know. Obviously there'd be no one for you to let know, but it just adds that extra dynamic and that extra something to it.
That's really cool. Yeah, it just gives something for people to do besides just run around and gather loot.
And as you said, Babynades, you did events on your server, and they take time. Even nowadays, still with the admin tools where you can spawn stuff in and all the rest of it, it still takes time and effort. And if there was a mod that could automate it for you, which I just checked out that mod, it's got 1,428 missions spread across Chernarus, Livonia, and Deer Isle. So definitely,
really?
It's a work in progress, he says, but it's definitely worth looking at. It was things like that where a random locked apartment turns up and free pigs from a cage and just some stuff to add a bit of variety and spice. And as you said before, get people moving. You don't want to be forcing people to move, but you want to give them an option, a reason to move. And that creates convergence of players, which creates interaction or action, depending on what you want for the server, as airdrops are showing right now, on the servers where the messages go live. And it'd be great if it did it over radio stations, and it I'm definitely going to check it out. It sounds like something that I like the idea of, just to create a bit of non-forced interaction.
A really cool mod that literally every server should have it is the notes mod. And you should set the notes for a week at least, because that adds so much to the server.
It does.
Everybody loves it.
I've got to fix it on my server. I've been going around every base that is set up. The Much Stuff pack has a letterbox, and I give them a letterbox to stick out the front, and I try to tell them to keep paper in there and a pen so someone can leave a note, and just something so that it just adds a little bit. You go check your letterbox when you log on and see if anyone's left you a message or a gift or but I screwed up the persistence values of them, and they keep them despawning, so I've got to fix that.
It's called note, I think, not paper.
Yeah, I think you use the bit of paper, don't you, that you get from when you unbox ammo and stuff, and then you just combine a pen with it. I think they've got them on the day one servers, if I'm not mistaken, and the amount of people that just put daft messages on there as well. I think now, our good friend Lax Hawthorne, he's been playing on those servers, and he's done a video where he picked up a note and read a note, and there was a guy like bound and gagged in a tent on a roof of a building and stuff, and the note said something, and there was music playing. It was just like really creepy, and it was it was really cool. And that some of that wouldn't have been made as cool unless those notes were available.
I'm just looking for it. I was sure I had. There was a guy on DayZ Down Under, and he was famous for it. He's got a Discord, Dead Poet Society that I joined, I'm pretty sure. And he was famous for leaving little poems all over the map. And you'd find him, and it would just give you a chuckle. They were crude, they were rude, but it was just something that just added a little bit of life to the server. It was brilliant stuff. I'm just trying to see if I can find one of his poems. There it is, Dead Poet Society. Oh God, I better make
collect
sure.
Notes and then put them in a binder, and then you can keep it at your base. That'd be so cool.
Oh, that's a rude one. I can't read that one.
Go on, you want to.
I'm pretty tired. I need to get some sleep. Wind's taking over. I can no longer even peep. My head's got to go horizontal on a cushion. Mine becoming goo. Man, my wrinkles be mushing. I go nap. My thoughts are going to cease. Will I pass out in a pile of old fucking sheets? Puffin. And you just find these little notes all over the place. And it just added a little bit of spice to... I traipsed here from grabbing just for a hit. Lucal had moldy codeine, it was total shit. Added some grape juice to make alright lean, so I could stagger here for some morphine. Arrived here finally, and to my disappointment, all I could find was some topical ointment. And he would just come up with these poems on the fly. And it was a great little addition to the server. I encouraged him to do it. I said, if you come on my server, mate, I've got notes on for that reason. I want people to leave notes. Just adds a bit of life. That is how you know that a server's alive, not kill feeds. Kill feeds only do one thing. Kill feeds only do one thing, encourage KOS. And you need KOS, but you don't want to encourage it for the sake of it. God, could you imagine if they put kill feeds on the day one servers?
I don't think it would make a huge amount of difference, because I think there's already just so much chaos happening. There's so much murder and so much betrayal, and 90% of it's Ray's fault. But there's just so much of it. I don't think it would make a huge amount of difference, but I see what you're getting at. I think there would be. It would add something different, but not necessarily in a good way.
It'd just be the people wanting to be able to say that they could see Shroud's name pop up in their chat, or Babynades' name. I killed Babynades, yes.
No, that's not hard. How do I use my name, though? I usually... Well, right now I'm using Maple. I should probably change it now that I just said that.
Yeah, you should.
I change it all the time.
Yeah.
See, I'm not as well known yet, so I'm at that point where I can still fly under the radar and use the name Brimstone, and there's only ever one, maybe two people that are gonna recognize that name, you know, if I bump into them in game. So I either use that or I use my real name, because no one's gonna recognize me by my real name, so it kind of works out.
Now, is that true that Altar doesn't broadcast to all radios now?
Huh? I haven't heard that.
Man said, does Altar radio station broadcast to all radios? I tested a while ago and it didn't. Would be cool if it did. Now, I thought it still is locked to a frequency, depending on which one you transmit on. But I thought it transmitted map wide. It was the only location you could do that was map, or the only thing you could use that was map wide.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah, because it's only that weird, like, long brown table version of it, isn't it? If you get, like, the little ones that you get in, like, Piano House in Electro, for example, that just goes over the town and only has, like, a limited range. But I think the one at Altar does, I think it's got, like, 100-kilometer range or something like that, which is a bit unnecessary considering the map's not 100 kilometers long. But, you know, as far as I'm aware, it is literally just a case of if you tune it to the frequency, it will do that frequency map wide, but it won't do.
I think they need more of them.
Everything.
I think there needs to be a few of them. You know, maybe put one at Tizzy, one at the Northwest Airfield, one at Altar, and one in the two main, the big cities as well. Field transceivers. Oh yeah, you're right, Wing. That's field transceivers are supposed to be able to broadcast to the whole map too. Just hardly anyone uses them because you've got to give up a backpack to. See, that's another mod that I would love to see, is someone come up with a mod where you could attach a field transceiver to it and power it from a generator, and it broadcasts into your base or something like that. So when you're in the base, but one of the issues is the static. They've got to get rid of that fucking static noise. It's annoying just hearing that shh. I've got the mod.
There's mods for that.
Yeah, I've got the mod, but they need to get rid of it from vanilla, because that just turns people off. It's like, I don't want to be running around hearing this shh the whole time.
Yeah, I know that the MVS mod, I know that they've got a version, it's a radio pack, which again, it's a backpack, but you stick one of those, big ass radio things on, and then you can have an extra couple of attachment slots.
Yeah.
So you're not completely losing a backpack, but you for all intents and purposes you kind of are, and it's a bit of a nightmare, but it kind of adds to it to a degree. It kind of bridges the gap slightly.
It needs to be something that you can fit in your backpack.
Yeah, I mean, I know you can run around with it in your hands if you've got a backpack on, but then again, like you say, if you're like double, triple carrying weapons, you haven't got that luxury, and you don't really want to be running around in the middle of Northwest Airfield with a radio in your hand.
Well, I think we've exhausted this topic, and now we're going to move on to something a bit more serious, a bit out of the normal line of the podcast, and that is depression. Man, I have been blown out of my mind by it barely seems there's a day where I'm not sending someone a message. Are you guys seeing the same as well?
Like content creators?
Content creators, people on Twitter, just not even just content creators, but people who I follow on Twitter. Man, 2020 has just been the most fucked up year, and it is just messing with people's heads.
Yeah, I've noticed looking on Twitter, there seems to be a few more people speaking out in regards to depression and mental health, and I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing that people are speaking out and reaching out, because then, we do have the DayZ community, as toxic as it can be, overall, generally speaking, is a majoritively very positive, good, supportive community of people. So I think it's good that people are starting to feel like they can speak about these things, and can get that little bit of support from their peers. But I think it is sort of creeping into the forefront a little bit more, where we're seeing a lot more people mentioning it, and it's getting that little bit of traction, and it sucks because then you kind of it's like that elephant in the room. You don't want to speak about it to a degree, but I think it is something that needs to be spoken about
for sure.
And it is good that people are voicing it. And I know Marnes is kind of right there. I think it's social media. That's why I deleted Twitter. Social media does amplify things, particularly when you look at the Instagrammers. I like to make fun of them. And BCG, I've got depression and anxiety and PTSD myself, mate. I'm medicated for it. And yeah, it took me years to admit I had issues, mate. But it was Diddy raided me earlier, and I said I wanted to have a chat with him to see about doing something later this year. There's Movember coming up. I don't know whether you guys do that where you are.
Yeah, it's a big thing in the UK.
Yep.
A very big thing in the UK.
Movember.
Yeah, you grow a moustache for mental.
You basically shave. You shave all your facial hair off completely on the last day of October, and then you try and grow as much as you can. You don't shave, don't touch it at all for the whole of November. And then basically people will, you put it obviously say on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever else. And then you put a link and you try and raise money for the organization. And I think
Diddy's an ambassador for
you get a lot for mental health. You get people do it for different charities. Like I know a lot of people in the UK do it for like testicular cancer charities and things like that. So it's a really, really good organization.
But never, ever be afraid to speak up. That's the key thing. Having been in those pits where you just think there's nothing left, there's always something left. And there's always someone. And it's why... I know you said you deleted it, Marnes, but I'll never delete it. One, because I have a bit too much fun on Twitter at times. Yeah, I see your look there.
We noticed it's your Twitter is the reason why my mental health fucking declines because it means I have to do the days since last incident shit, and there's a reason I haven't been speaking about that in the last sort of month and a half. Part of that was because I was on vacation for a fortnight, but part of it was I was just basically looking for things to see. Do I have to reset every time I logged into Twitter? Is right. Do I have to reset the fucking counter on podcast this week? And it was to that point where I was just like, it's not worth it anymore. So that's why I haven't done it for a few weeks. But yeah, it fucking sucks. But like I said, we've got such a great community in DayZ that there are people out there that none of us are professionals, but if you need to talk, well, there's always someone there.
And the people who've said something have been inundated with, I've reached out to a few in DMs. I won't name names, but they've all. You look at the comment they make, and then it might not be immediately, but within an hour or so, nearly everyone's had 4 or 5, even more people reach out to them and say, "I understand where you're coming from," or keep your chin up and that. And I point that out to them and I say, "Look at how many people have responded to you." You're feeling down, you're feeling depressed, but there are people out there who you probably never met, probably never will meet in person, but they care. They do care. Someone posted, would people even notice if I wasn't here? I said, I'd notice. Don't know you from a bar of soap, only what I see on Twitter and stuff like that, but I'd notice. I like your posts. Keep them coming. BCG saying, my wife started noticing a difference in me. Then in November last year, I ended up in hospital with a suspected heart attack. Was it anxiety attack, BCG? Or was it an actual heart attack? But yeah, my missus notices when I haven't taken my medication. Within a day or two, she goes, boy, you forgot your medication, didn't you? And it's like, yeah. Yeah. I'll go take them again. And that's the big thing. If you are being medicated, don't fall into the trap that I've fallen into myself, where you say, I'm all good now, and then you stop taking them. No, you're given medication for a reason, motherfucker. Stay on the medication. Stay on the happy.
I've had a couple of friends that have done that. They've gone through they've gone to their doctors, they've got their happy pills, they've started taking them, and they've gone, fucking hell, those happy pills have worked a treat. I don't need them anymore because I feel fine. Yeah. So they stopped taking them, and then a month later, they've pissed all of it out of their system, and they're back to square one. They're going back to their doctor, and the doctor's like, well, what seems to be the problem? Oh, I'm feeling really down again. Oh, oh, have you been keeping up with your prescription? Oh no, they made me feel great after the first couple of months, so I stopped taking them. And it's like, well, that's literally what they're there for. Get them down your neck, son. I have to do it with my best friend Chops. He lives like 4.5 hours away from me while I was away on vacation. Those 2 episodes I did was his laptop I was using.
Yep.
And he's in the middle of some really shit stuff going on at the moment. And every single day I would wake up, put the kettle on, and be like, mate, have you taken your pill this morning? Every single day, because I know otherwise he'll get like halfway through the day before he'll take it, and you'll notice it. It's always that first thing in the morning. It's like getting out of bed's the most difficult part for a lot of people.
Saturday nights are bad for me because it's my streaming night. I'm just realizing I've forgotten to take my medicine tonight. My Lexapro and my Risperidone. I've got to go when I finish here and whack them down my gullet. And the worst part is my bloody dog. So he just seems to love my pill tray I've got. Yeah, I'm an old guy. I've got a fucking pill tray, okay? Get off my back. But he likes the fact that it rattles just like a toy. So he comes over there and I'm worried he's going to bloody sniffle up my antidepressants and have this dog.
The happiest dog you've ever seen. Just go, you just suddenly you turn around, you go, what the fuck's that sound? Your dog's doing fucking gymnastics in the
kitchen. But yeah, the big thing, guys, never be afraid to speak up. You might feel silly for speaking up, but you're going to feel a lot fucking sillier when you're in hospital with fucking EMTs working on you because you tried to off yourself or something like that. Yeah. Where is the babyface bandit? He's here. Say g'day, Babynades.
Hey.
But yeah, never, ever, 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 ever be afraid to speak up. And if you don't feel like speaking up, send me a fucking DM, send fucking Brim a DM, send someone a fucking DM and say you're feeling like shit. And someone will fucking get back to you.
Yeah, I even do that. I send you a DM.
Yeah.
There's no shame in it. There's no shame. I know a lot of us blokes, we're worse for it. I think men, we're a little bit worse for it. Girls will go and have a some girls, I can't really go blanket statement in like that, but I think there's a lot of girls will rather talk about it, whereas men, we're a little bit more proud. We're a little bit more like, makes you feel like less of a man if you admit that there's something wrong. But that's bollocks. That's absolute bullshit. It makes you more of a man to admit that there's a problem and actively look for the help.
Yeah.
And if you look, you will find it. And there's absolutely no shame in admitting there's a problem.
Mm-hmm. And keep your chin up, folks. This is a fucking shitty year where it's just making everything fucking worse. Everyone's fucking locked away and bloody just, yeah. We're going to get past it.
I think Amber saw in my chat here, she's brought it up quite rightly and put a nice little bow on that. It's okay to not be okay sometimes.
Yeah. Yep. We have a day here in Australia called Are You Okay?
Yeah.
The sad part is they've had to do a second advertising campaign. There's more to say after you say to someone, "Are you okay?" And I think it comes back to what you were saying, Brim, about men. Are you okay? Yeah. No, I'm not okay. Oh, that's shit. I'll catch you later. No, mate. You're meant to fucking have a bit of a chinwag with the person.
Yeah. Don't just ask the yes/no question. It's that open-ended question. Ask the open-ended question. Are you okay? No. Why are you not okay?
Yeah.
Continue the conversation. Don't just go, no, well, I'm not a mental health professional. It's fuck all I can do about it for you. Something as simple as just taking 10 minutes out, a couple of Twitter DMs, just to hear someone out and give put your 2 cents in. We're all a bunch of narcissistic bastards. We all want to make our opinions known. And just sitting there and doing that for someone could be the difference in their day.
Murder's just said in chat as well, it's okay not to be okay. I've been in that spot before and it's shit, but I speak to a counsellor once a week and it helps every time, trust me. I see a psychiatrist once a month and go and sit there and I feel awkward, but I do it and I generally feel good after I've done it as well. And although I do kind of agree with DOJ, this is my social time. Is the podcast and being online and streaming. You get me outside. Like, my son was actually impressed with me. I went and got my haircut today. I've got a great fucking haircut. How good do I look? And I actually had 3 lines of conversation with the hairdresser today. And he said, that's a fucking whole conversation for you, is it, Dad? Because I IRL, I do not like talking to people in general.
Yeah.
It's a bit different. I got to meet Diddy at a PAX East, and that's kind of a game and nerd sort of thing, and I feel a bit more comfortable there. But in general, things like I go to get my hair cut, I just want to sit down, cut my fucking hair, and let me go. I go to the shops. I want to go to the shop, get in, get my stuff. I don't want to tell you about my fucking day when you're serving me at the checkout. I just want to get out of there. But when it comes to put me behind a webcam and a microphone in front of me, I'll talk underwater with a mouthful of marbles. I'm weird like that. But
Yeah.
I'm the same way.
I mean, it's the same for me. You know, like I say, I don't like talking about shit, and I've got really close friends in this community and in real life that, you know, that will literally ask me on a daily basis, how you been? I've got a mate who lives 2 minutes over the road from me. He calls me like 3-4 times a week. How you getting on? When you coming over to see your godson? And within 24 hours, I'm at his house. We're chilling. We're drinking. We're having a laugh. I'm getting the shit absolutely kicked out of me by a fucking 5-year-old, and there's nothing I can do about it. You know, and it's brilliant.
Crypto J's got a good point there. Part of the problem is the fact that most people don't want to deal with the hard things. They don't want to deal with what is difficult to talk about or what bothers them, and it's easy just to keep on keeping on. I'm going to elaborate on that. Part of the reason why people feel that way is, and someone mine said about it, was being social media. You have people on social media lying about their life. Lying that they're fucking having this amazing fucking best lifestyle ever. Brim, you're muted. I don't know whether you're...
I was just addressing my chat.
Oh, yeah. But people look at that, and, you know, even us as content creators, as streamers, you know, people look at the lives that the big guys lead and all the rest of it, and, you know, particularly... Yeah, we'll narrow it down. We'll be a bit more specific to what this show's about. We'll talk about the smaller content creators. It's easy to get that envy. That, you know, why are they having so much success? Why am I... Mate, I've been doing fucking streaming for 4 to 5 years now, and I'm still not partnered. But that doesn't bother me. Every time I turn on the camera, I get my usual bunch of people coming in. I love seeing even the chat now. Brim, you're loving... Yeah, I see you looking at your chat. You're seeing the usual people there. Babynades, you probably see it when you're on your videos, the usual people commenting in that. Try to do it for the right reasons. Yes, money, you can't say that you can live money free. Anyone who says that is a fucking idiot. But don't believe everything you see. Don't believe everything you hear. I retweeted a tweet today. Let me see if I can find it. Which one was it? It was a really good tweet. The Faces of Depression.
Yeah, I think the thing with social media as well is it's an echo chamber. So you like Crypto said there, and like Marx has said as well, you know, watching other people do that good stuff, seeing only the good stuff posted, you kind of get that false sense of that's what my life should be, but then you realize it's not. And it's, you know, it's don't believe everything you see online. Don't worry about other people's lives and how good they've got it. Concentrate on yours and making yours be better in whatever way that is.
My missus gave me a couple of good sayings when, as well as, you know, she's the sort of person who, as much as, you know, you be there and you get someone's back and all the rest of it, but there comes a time when you've got to say to some people, you know, look, you just got to suck it up and address it. And the only way you'll address it is, she has two sayings she gives me. One, how do you eat a whale? One bite at a time. It might seem like a fucking monster task, but if you don't address it, if you just put your head in the sand and ignore it like Crypto was saying, then it's just going to get worse. You've got to address the issue head on. And speak to someone. Get advice. Get professional help if you need to. Family, friends, whoever. Someone. Get some, there'll be someone out there, I guarantee you, who has faced that same problem. And the other thing she always says to me is, this too shall pass. Whatever you're dealing with right now, at some time in the distant future, you're going to be looking back at what is either somewhat painful, or you could look back and laugh at it and think, how much of a dickhead was I that... You know, we say it to our son all the time. He's 19. There is nothing that can't be handled. Nothing at all. Might involve me having to bury some bodies for you, son, but There is nothing that can't be handled. So
Got a brand new shovel in the shed waiting.
I always have to tell myself that if ever I'm getting depressed about something, I always say this one line. I've been doing it for years. It's nothing is ever as bad as it seems.
Yeah. Yep.
It just takes time, and then you can look back and you can see that was not as big of a deal as you may have thought it was.
Yeah. It might seem it at the time.
In the moment.
What's that, Brim?
Things always seem worse in the moment.
They do.
Than what they do. Hindsight's a wonderful thing. You'll look back and realise that actually, as bad as you felt back then, you've come a long way since.
And the younger you are, the worse it seems. The older you get, you start to realise from life experiences that, yeah, this isn't that bad. Okay, yeah, we can deal with this. Yep, okay. This sucks, but so be it. Yeah. So keep your chin up, everyone out there. And if you need someone to chat to, send a message to me, send a message to a friend, whoever. I might not know you from a bar of soap, but as well as upsetting everyone on Twitter, I do have some other decent skills and life experience that I'm willing to share and give you my insight for what it's fucking worth, which is not much, but hey.
It's just one of the joys of you being so old, isn't it, mate?
You're a cheeky fucker.
Like I said, the 73 in his name is not the year of his birth, it's his actual
Hey, last week we got fucking roasted and that included you, mate.
Oh, that was a fucking savage one too, wasn't it?
Oh,
wait, what happened? Say it.
Someone comes in the chat. I can't remember the name. I should. I'm really bad for this. But it was just the comment was so fucking good. They went, oh, wow. All of my DayZ friends' grandfathers in one location. Yeah.
He had us on that one. Well, there was nothing we could have done. That was just a straight up bitch slap that we could not recover from. It was so good.
Now, the DayZ Twitter was sadly very quiet this week, other than some posts about server updates and stuff. But I'm wondering whether there's new people taking over the helm and they're finding their feet or whatever. But I'm hoping we start seeing some other stuff popping up. We have to rely on Adam at the moment for his post with the map hunt. But any servers that have taken your fancy lately, Babynades? We'll do our server spotlight now.
Actually, yes. Let me find the name of it. Actually, yeah, give me a second.
Yeah, DayZ Twitter is dead as fuck right now.
Yeah, I think they're in that transition, aren't they, between having actually getting a new community manager.
Yeah.
So I think last we heard, I think they had was it a guy called Steve, I think his name was, that had taken over in the meantime since Jakub left that post.
No, that was Scotty, wasn't it?
Oh, Scotty, that's it, Scotty, yeah. And he was, I think he was the interim version.
Yes.
And then while they were waiting to fill the position, so I think they're probably in that. Seems like they might hopefully be in that transition period between the interim and the new guy kind of.
Do either of you spend much time in the official DayZ Discord?
I'm in it, but I don't spend a huge amount of time in there. I check it a couple of times a week.
I'm not even a member of it anymore. I left it, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, I did.
I just sent you an invite for it because I thought you were going to say you didn't even know
I'll rejoin it. No, I'll rejoin it. I never see it advertised anywhere.
No.
But I knew they had one.
DayZ has a Discord. I just shared the link in chat. And they've got a number of good channels in there. And people do go in there, but like IP rights violation channel and do they have a general channel?
It is a weird one, isn't it? Because like you say, they do have so many different channels and categories in there that it's quite varied, which I think is really good. And they've got like a promotion channels and stuff like that where you can like post links to like community discords and community servers and stuff like that. So it's not all just. And weirdly, it's when I first joined it, I expected it to just be a complete and utter ball ache. I thought it was just going to be everyone bitching and moaning, what about console and fix your dead game and shit like that. But it's really not. They've actually done really well with curating a decent, positive Discord with, granted, there are always going to be criticisms and things, but, it seems a lot of it constructive, which is quite nice.
I just have to hook up these announcement things to my server.
Yeah, I mean, I got troubleshooting channels in there. So if you're having an issue loading in, or you found a bug that you're not quite sure how to deal with, they've got it all in there. But yeah, like you said, the Twitter's been a little bit on the quiet side recently. I know they've done your typical sort of company toe the company line kind of tweets recently, mentioning about updates, and they've had some battle eye updates and things like that. But there's not been a lot of sort of personalized stuff going on recently. So, which is a shame, because like I say, I think we really sort of had our cake and ate it when we had Jakub as the community manager. So
that was
I think maybe
wonderful few weeks there, wasn't it, Babynades?
Yeah.
He was just god tier fucking troll on Twitter. It was great to see them fighting back finally. But what was the server you wanted to promote, Babynades?
Well, I don't have a server at the moment, but I've been playing on 473 Sphinx. Do you know that server?
No.
It's a Deer Isle server expansion. It's really fun. I'll probably record there in my next video, actually.
473 Sphinx.
473 Sphinx. DayZ expansion. I think it might be an EU server. I don't know.
It's a pretty unique name.
But I played on there. Yeah, I played on there, and I just ran into so many people, like, right away. It was really fun.
What's so unique about it? Other than being Deer Isle, of course.
It's an expansion, Deer Isle. There's helicopters. There are traders, which I'm not a huge fan of, but I don't know. It was just cool. Like, you spawn in, and there's like guns everywhere. It's kind of like a mix of Day One and like a base building server with a trader.
Have you seen DeOne's?
I guess that's why I like
it.
What?
Have
what?
I think Brim just got trolled in chat then.
Doesn't surprise me. It seems to happen more and more frequently.
Hey, there's a name, Blue and Queenie. Notice me, Senpai Babynades.
I'm not actually in the stream. I'm not watching the stream.
I
because of my connection's not that good.
Yeah, I noticed Blue and Queenie yesterday because they. I don't know. Well, I don't know if it's the first time it's ever happened, but it's the first time I'd seen it. They were actually on Twitch's front page.
No, they've been there a few times on the front page of Twitch. They are amazingly active with what they do. And they are seriously professional streamers. Like, the effort they put into the dual streaming was just phenomenal back in the day. Blue and Queenie were the first big name streamers I ever bumped into, and they shot me. Broke my legs. I was actually playing with the Running Man at the time, but I was a bit of a. It was a collab I was doing with him. I came across them. I can't remember the name of the town, near Polana, I think it was. They'd finally gone from killing everyone to they were attempting to rob everyone, and they broke my legs, and I just fucking, yep, you've got me. And then Paul came over, and I think it was the first time they met Paul as well. But yeah, they're doing anything and everything these days. But it's good to hear you're missing DayZ, because I know it was a bit of a source of angst for you for a while. Like a lot of people, when you're a one-game streamer and then you move into diversifying, they got sick of people coming in and saying, when are you going to play DayZ? When are you going to play DayZ? And yeah.
When I first started playing DayZ, they are who I watched. Yep. I watched them more than anybody else.
The dynamic between the pair of them is hilarious at times, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
It's been a while for me. It's been a while for me since I caught a Blue and Queenie stream, but it's just it was nice to see them hit the front screen.
Yeah.
And it was nice to see, someone different, without throwing shade at every other streamer. I've noticed there seems to be a lot of sort of 2 or 3 streamers that I notice are there on an almost daily basis and for like 12 hours on the front screen. Yeah.
Sorry, something in my throat. My throat.
So yeah, it was nice. It was nice to see someone else actually taking a bit of spotlight for a change, and well deserved as well.
I couldn't resist, Brim. I couldn't resist. Be professional, Boydie.
I'll say after our conversation the other day in Discord, Boydie.
Yeah.
It's meant to be me that ruffles the feathers and names the names, not you. Taking my job.
No, we love you, Blue and Queenie, man. You were one of the first spotlight interviews I did as well. It was great. Okay, mod spotlight. Anyone got any extraordinary mods? I mean, like, we've had the AI mission one, Survivor missions that I'm definitely going to be checking out. What about yourself, Babynades? Any mods that have blown you away recently? Oh, I was just asking you. Before you say yours, have you seen the One's Trader mod?
No, I have not. Actually, say it. I may have.
It is a trader where it's a dynamic loot economy. Plus,
you can only buy things that people sell.
Pretty much. What he says the trader is all that trade is going to have. And then as well, when you want to buy something, it actually puts a 3D image of it up. There's like a table to the side of them. And when you want to inspect something, you can inspect it and then you can spin it, basically like in Call of Duty when you're inspecting a gun. And you can spin it and twist it, and you can do that with any item in the game. It is a next level trader mod. That is cool. Mate. You definitely need to check it out. There's a couple of videos floating around. I think Mark's has done a good one on it. If you want to put a link to your one, Mark's. I did a 1 hour fucking telenovela on it. Mark's does a much more concise and to the point video on it. But it is a very cool mod to keep your eye on. But what's your mod that you wanted to check out, mate?
It's actually a collection of 3 mods. It's what we were talking about earlier. Hell Retex. Those 3 mods combine some of the best mods in on the entire workshop. Every server should have them, in my opinion.
Are you in their Discord?
No, I'm not. I'm not in their Discord.
I can't invite, but I'll ask them to.
They're being constantly updated. It's a lot of like crafting stuff too. Like you can craft a crossbow, you can craft a shotgun. There's tents you can build. It's just so cool. It's very survival-y, and the textures are like right on point.
They're working as well on eventually doing an upgraded medical attention. Now the medical attention mod I fucking love, but they're looking at taking it to an even higher level of medical complexity. It's going to be fucking phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, I had a little look through through it on the Steam Marketplace, on the Steam Workshop, whatever you want to call it. After I saw you had it on your server, Boyd, I had a good look through all 3 mods and the stuff it offers. It does look like a really, really cool mod.
Well, even tonight on stream, we broke our hammer and hatchet, and because tools are so rare, we had to craft a hammer. And I showed everyone how you could do it, not just using rags, but you can go and cut sticks and then use a knife on them and get vegetable fibers and get 2 stacks of 10 vegetable fibers, and you can make a fiber rope and combine that with a small stone, make a hammerhead. And it doesn't last as long as a real hammer, but it just adds,
I did wonder why, playing on your server, that I noticed cutting down getting a long stick, it was giving me 2 options to either split into small or give fibers. Yes. I did wonder why it was doing that, and there you go. Now I know.
Yep, you can use it to make an improvised rope.
Oh, ideal. I need to have a little look through the actual recipe list then, see if they've got a link for it somewhere on their workshop page.
And yeah, Crypto J, they do have animation support now. We were talking about a mod that's making use of it earlier, the guitar mod, where they're making some small custom animations. I don't believe it's the full deal. Like, they can't do massive stuff, but they can do minor sorts of things. So yeah, it's quite exciting. I think it's a basic
look into what we could have in the future.
What about you, Brim? Any mods stood out for you the last week or so?
No, I mean, I think I agree with Babynades. Like I say, the Hell Retech stuff is really cool. Like I say, I haven't really looked through a lot of mods recently. I know that the source subject of Milo, I know his his Milo the Average Sniper mod that's on the workshop has recently been updated, but I haven't looked into what's changed or what's done. I haven't been anywhere near his servers for long before the whole controversy with him, so I've not really kept up with that. But yeah, like you say, the fact that the Hell Retex has got 3 different mods, the survival one is really cool. I think that's where you get that. Is it that little sound box, isn't it, that you made me need to change my underwear from?
Yeah, the raw box and the woo box are the best too.
Yeah, so I think I've got a bit of a love-hate relationship with that mod at the moment, but I'm sure I'll get over it eventually.
They also really try to push for civilian weapons instead of just all the military stuff, which is something I really appreciate.
Yeah, the fact that you can craft a shotgun as well, like that's really cool. Like you craftable weaponry rather than having to run around for 6 hours looking through 5 different military bases just to find one gun. You can actually, you can make your own. I think that's really adds, like you say, when you're pushing for like a hardcore survival style, that really adds something to it.
My mod that I want to give a shout out to, I've talked about it before, but it's now going into beta, is the Forge mod by Dumpgra. Babynades, if you haven't checked out Dumpgra on the workshop, you need to. He's got an ammo making mod, mate. It is fucking the bomb, where you can basically, I've got it set on my server that the bigger military caliber ammunition is rare, but you can find dyes and presses and all the rest of it and actually craft the military grade ammo. But he's got it set so well that if you've got so 22 ammo is more common on my server, and you can break that down into the various parts, into the tips, the cartridges, and the gunpowder, and then use that, melting it down to create new ammo. Well, he's now got a forge mod for crafting metal and creating better quality tools than just like what the hell Retex offers you with stone. Actually smelting, you can mine ore and all the rest of it. So again, it's adding a bit of depth and a reason for people to keep on moving around and being active on the server.
What is the name of it again?
The ammo making is just the name of the mod. The guy's name is Dumpgra, Dump GRAH.
Oh yeah, this I saw this before. This is awesome.
Marks has a great video on his ammo making, and I'm certain he'll be getting Marks to do something on the Forge mod for him as well, to help promote it as well. I'll probably do my long 1 hour video on it. He wants me to go in and check it out, and I fully intend to. But yeah, it's an amazing mod, mate. It is really good. It just adds so much quality of life to DayZ.
Yeah, I didn't realize as well. I think we mentioned it last week when we had Dumpgra on, how much like different various mods he's had a part in sort of helping with as well. He's got his name's on quite a lot of mods on the workshop, which is pretty cool. Mm-hmm.
There's the ammo making video. I'll copy this and send it to you in a DM, Babynades, just so you can check it out.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll definitely check it out.
Guest host spotlight of the week. Babynades, what has stood out in the DayZ community to you in the last week?
Oh gosh. I don't really know, to be honest.
Anything at all just recently that's really made you, you said you took a little bit of a break from it and that, and
I mean, the main thing right now that's kind of piqued my interest is Essiker and Deer Isle and some of the new maps, because I'm just so sick of Chernarus at this point. I want to go somewhere else. And so I'm really excited about the new maps that are coming. And I'd like to try out some of the others too.
Yeah. What about you, Brim?
As far as spotlights, I mean, there's obviously, if we're going down server route, I would like to give yours a shout out. A bit of Dean's Beans love, because that's like I say, I'm not a hardcore player, not really, not at heart. I like an easy job, I'm not messing about. But it has been a lot of fun. That, and I know Helkiana's got one, Willow Glade. I did have a little run around on that a couple of times. That's a really good one. So there are, like I said, there are a lot of really good servers. I'm kind of pushing that a little bit more towards hardcore now, quite enjoying the hardcore experience a little bit more now, and there's some really, really good servers out there for it.
Me, I'm a simple man. Mine is Battle Royale. I've gotten to play it a bit recently. I had a go on it again the other day in Discord with a few people watching, and I'm loving it. It's really, like I said, I'm a hardcore PvE proponent, but I still do enjoy the thrill of PvP, mainly because it just gets me so worked up, and I'm so easy to fucking scare and so easy to kill, but I'm just loving it, and it's just going gangbusters, and going to be some very, very big things coming up as well, with the Battle Royale mod as well. I'm quite excited for it. And someone else is working on something in a similar sort of vein. I won't say nothing. This person's going to be a guest on the show in quite a few weeks' time. Mark's Killing Voidy was my highlight of that mod. Yeah. I was all gillied up hiding in a bush, and my breath gave me away. Fucking breath in that game. It's always fucking freezing. You're always blowing fucking steam.
Oh, it's even worse when you're trying to be a little bit of an annoying twatty admin, and you've put a ghillie suit on and hiding in a bush, and you're trying to sort of go, "Hey, you over there," and just trying to really sketch out your favorite players, and then all of a sudden they just look around, and they see you because they just see a tree breathing, and you think, why? What is that about?
Okay, I just changed the screen then because I just had to check our prospective guest list to reconfirm, because I'm old and I forget things. Next week's guest, for those who are going to be here, is someone I'm taking a bit of a guilty pleasure with this one, and bringing back someone who was instrumental to my starting DayZ content. So if you want to hear some stories about me from way back in the day, my good friend Charlie DayZ, for those who remember him, will be our guest on the podcast next week. Grim, to answer your question, is the Battle Royale based on Gamer Z? No, it's pretty much being... it's sort of like a condensed Survivor games. If you remember those, they were the big thing. Survivor games was massive on Twitch and in DayZ. It really helped raise the profile of the game. Brian Hicks and Soma and a bunch of other people were all involved in creating it, and it was just massive event. Yeah, every man and his dog wanted to be in a Survivor games, and then it disappeared because they realised that standalone just wasn't good enough yet for it to come back. And then Bohemia Interactive bought Survivor Games and massacred it, and with that mod they released, and then there's been nothing since. And Keegan, a guy who worked with Player Unknown back in the day, not sure, I can't remember off the top of my head. Brim, you might remember what his capacity was there.
Don't ask me to remember anything that didn't happen in the last 35 seconds. Why do you think all my hair fell out? All the memories have bloody pushed it out.
But yeah, they've been working on Keegan's been working on this mod to really summarize that in a much more condensed version, and there's some good things coming with that mod in the future as well, especially now that he's got the monetization for it as well, which is fantastic for him and going to open a lot of opportunities for him to expand on it. We can rebuild it. We have the technology. Babynades, thank you so much for coming on, mate. It was a pleasure. You are
thanks for having me.
No, you're a legend of the DayZ community, mate. You make some of the best story videos out there. It's not just run and gun your stuff, mate. There's more of a story, and you put a lot of heart and soul into your videos, and it's definitely worth it. If you haven't, if someone could get Babynades' channel, please give him a sub on YouTube. You won't regret it. If you like those longer form videos, Babynades is one of the best in the business at it.
Maybe too long.
Yeah, that's debatable, mate. That's debatable.
I don't know. I'm seeing a few people uploading like hour and a half supposed movie at the moment. So
yeah.
I don't know if I've got the attention span for that. So definitely not going to be sitting down for an hour and a half.
Give me one sec. I'm just going to copy the Battle Royale Discord link and I'll post it in again. I probably need I need to pull my finger out and get a lot of fucking good commands going. Edit the invite link, expire never, generate new link, copy. And that's the Discord link for the Battle Royale. And Marks has a video. If you check out Marks' YouTube channel, he has a video on how to get it's only in like alpha build stage at the moment. Still a lot more fleshing out going to happen of it. But it is an amazing event. If you don't mind a bit of PvP in DayZ, think the deathmatch servers, but with a reason to not want to die. To be the last person standing at the end.
Yeah.
Babynades, you are a
I
scholar
can't wait
and
to
a
try it
gentleman,
out.
sir.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Nah, you're always welcome on the show, mate. We never remove anyone as a guest. You're welcome to just pop in and trash talk us or whatever. We've had Fubar Bundy probably did the best one when we were shit talking him.
We call it a Fubar.
Yeah. But no. Thank you all so much. Brim, a pleasure as always, my man.
Agreed. Yeah, nice to meet you, Babynades. Thanks for popping on, mate. And Boydie, as always a pleasure to come and basically verbally abuse you for an hour and a half.
No, 2 hours, 20 minutes. Oh, no, 2.5 hours this time.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that seems to be around the time they run for, is that 2 to 2.5 hour mark. Seems to be our average. And Grim, I hope you enjoy it, mate. Babynades, say goodbye to everyone.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for listening.
Catch you all later.
All right,
fellas.
see you guys later.
See you later, guys.